festive. And now a start to a Saturday where Hugh Freeze's Ole Miss Rebels, led by Laquan Treadwell, could make a big step on their elusive journey to a championship.
Welcome to Oxford, Mississippi for a showdown between Arkansas and Ole Miss. It's a doubleheader football Saturday in the SEC. Volunteers, Razorbacks, with Tigers, Gators, Commodores, Gamecocks, and Wildcats. You can hear our battle cry. War Eagle, Roll Tide, Bulldogs, Aggies, Rebels, and the like. From Rocky Top to College Station, yeah, we're one big country nation, that's right. It's the Hogs and the Rebels, the SEC on CBS, the best game from the best conference.
Vaught Hemingway Stadium, the Ole Miss Rebels are ready. Tough to beat here under Hugh Freeze. The Arkansas Razorbacks, a blowout win over Ole Miss a year ago in Fayetteville, now rolling into Oxford. Game one of our doubleheader on CBS that will go a long way in determining who wins the SEC West. From Oxford, Mississippi, this is the Home Depot SEC on CBS. It's Arkansas versus Ole Miss. A full day and night in the SEC West. The standings presented by Dr. Pepper. The marquee matchup tonight on CBS, LSU at Alabama, 2 versus 4 in the college football playoff ranking. Rebels already have defeated the Tide, Arkansas today. In the East, the Florida Gators with a win over Vanderbilt today have secured their trip to the SEC championship game in Atlanta. With Aaron Taylor, Ginny Dell, I'm Carter Blackburn. Well, rightfully so, there's a lot of attention on Alabama and LSU tonight, but the Ole Miss Rebels are going to have a say in who wins the West.
Yeah, it's been an up and down season for Ole Miss, the loss of Memphis, the loss of Florida, but the bottom line is they control their own destiny. They are exactly where they want to be entering November.
So can Chad Kelly, quarterback Ole Miss, to the West win?
Well, he leads the SEC in passing yards and total offense, but he also has more interceptions than he has touchdowns in the last 3 games. So consistency and decision-making is going to be crucial. Now, we talked to him about his receiver group, which I think is the strength of this team and arguably the best among the country. They're going to want to connect on some big plays downfield, and for that to happen, Kelly's got to feed those guys the rock.
One of us was a unanimous All-American offensive lineman, and it wasn't me. So I'm guessing, Aaron, you're all right with the way that Arkansas plays.
I am, and I'm glad you remembered the word unanimous. Hey, Arkansas makes no bones about what they want to do. They want to come right at you, and I think that gives them the best chance to win this ballgame. Alex Collins has done a tremendous job of shouldering the load with Jonathan Williams out. That turf toe injury seems to be fine, and I think number 3 could hold the key to playing defense today by playing keep away.
For more, we check in with Ginny Dell.
Well, Carter, Ole Miss was the talk of the town back in 2013, and that was the year that the Rebels got 4 5-star recruits. Now, why is that important right now? Well, today is the first time this year that all 4 of those recruits will be on this field this season. Let's take a look at why. Left tackle Laramie Tunsil served a 7-game suspension due to NCAA violations. D-lineman Robert Kindici had to sit out versus Texas A&M after sustaining a concussion against Memphis. Defensive back Tony Connor, he twisted his knee versus Alabama and missed his last 6 games. Now, the only constant this season has been their star wide receiver, Laquan Treadwell, who played in all 9 games. He told me yesterday The sky is the limit for this group. And Carter, clearly one of the goals is to get that SEC championship game, something that the Rebels have never done.
There have been 23 of those SEC championship games played. None of them have included the Ole Miss Rebels. Like any long-time good series, there is a discrepancy between the Arkansas and Ole Miss record books back to 1914. A forfeit. Arkansas claims Ole Miss won. They actually met twice in the Sugar Bowl, including January 1, 1963. From Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, it's the Rebels and the Razorbacks. Nathan Noble's kickoff. It'll be Jared Cornelius in the end zone. He takes a knee. So we take a look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups, beginning with the Arkansas Razorbacks quarterback, Brandon Allen, the son of longtime Arkansas assistant coach Bobby Allen. Brandon quarterback the Fayetteville High School Bulldogs. When Arkansas offered him as a sophomore, he accepted almost immediately. Told us this week he never really considered going anywhere else. Today he starts his 30th consecutive game as the Razorbacks quarterback. Brett Bielema's Arkansas Razorbacks, 1st and 10 from the 25. Fake the toss. Allen pressured. Dumps it complete to Hunter Henry, a big part of the Arkansas offense. Let's take a look at the rest of the Razorback offense.
Well, Carter, Arkansas's best chance to win this game today is going to be to control the line of scrimmage. So look for the powerful left guard, Sebastian Tretola, to lead a unit that will try to run the football early and often versus this undersized but speedy Landshark defense.
So we're going to be paying attention to the Arkansas offensive line, is what you're telling me.
I think they're going to have a lot to do with whether or not the Razorbacks walk away with a victory today.
It's Cody Walker in the backfield behind Brandon Allen. On 2nd and 8, another completion to the outside. Brandon Allen completes it to Drew Morgan for a first down. Let's look at the Ole Miss D.
Well, senior safety Trey Elson is a physical box safety that'll need to lead an aggressive, much improving secondary that must be a factor in both the pass and run games today. And I think that he's going to lead a group that must tackle well. Elson is a playmaker. They're going to need him to show up.
Arkansas comes out throwing early on with Brandon Allen.
He's been throwing the football extremely well. That's a good change-up to break their normal tendencies.
Straight ahead, this is Cody Walker, the junior from Jefferson City, Missouri, with a solid gain. C.J. Johnson makes the tackle. We talked so much about the Arkansas run game, but you like Brandon Allen the way he's played a quarterback.
He's done an outstanding job. He's a tough, fierce competitor. He's a leader. The game has really slowed down for him, and when you look at him compared to a year ago, Carter, he's making much better decisions. He's pushing the ball downfield, and a lot of that, Coach Bielema told us, because of the guys around him are stepping their game up as well.
His offensive coordinator, Dan Enos, who actually left the head coaching job at Central Michigan for the offensive coordinator job here. On 2nd and 3, Walker picks up a first down. Already Arkansas at midfield against the Rebel defense.
This offensive line, we talked about Sebastian Tretola. Keep your eye right here, double teaming up to that second level. This is what you want to do as an offensive line, is work those backside combination blocks. They are blowing Ole Miss off the ball right there. That is good news if you're an Arkansas fan. The Landsharks have to play tougher at the point of attack to stop this run game.
You're not surprised by that, are you?
I'm not. Watching these guys on film, they're speedy, they're fast, but I just don't see the push and the toughness to disengage at the point of attack that you need.
Play action. Allen scrambling, eludes the pressure and gets a couple. C.J. Johnson puts the pressure on Brandon Allen.
To talk a little bit more about that, Carter, this is a 4-2-5 defense. So by default, you have 5 defensive backs on the field. There's a ton of speed, a ton of athleticism, but stopping the run, being physical at the point of attack, Hugh Freeze's unit has to be able to do that, or it could be a long afternoon for the Rebels.
Second and 9 now for Brandon Allen and the Razorbacks with Alex Collins in the backfield. 40 yards from 1,000. Allen on 2nd and 9 to throw again. Complete to the outside. That's the other outstanding tight end, Jeremy Sprinkle, the junior from Whitehall, Arkansas.
I really like Jeremy Sprinkle. He's a big physical target that gets some yards after the catch, just like we saw there. It makes it very difficult when you have two tight ends. We talked about Hunter Henry, number 84. We know what he can do, but Jeremy Sprinkle rounds out a tight end group that's going to put a lot of pressure on these Rebels today.
Opening possession for Arkansas. They are driving against the Rebel defense. Brandon Allen, 3 for 3 passing, 24 yards so far. Collins out of the eye. This is Alex Collins' first touch for the junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Robert Kimdichie and C.J. Johnson in on the stop.
Robert Kimdichie's a guy that can make those plays backside, but talking about Alex Collins and what he can do running the football, establishing the line of scrimmage, he's a north-south runner. He's got some wiggle to him. He can be his own blocker at times, and they're going to need him to be able to protect the football. Averaged almost 11 yards a carry last week. They would love for him to have a similar production here today.
Collins out of there on 2nd and 9. Cody Walker back in. Already almost 4 minutes on the drive. Walker spins away, but C.J. Johnson makes the stop. Johnson along with Kinzel and Dichie, and there's Tony Connor back in on the stop for the Rebels.
Yeah, and they brought some pressure off that left side. You see him on the slot right there. That's a lead draw. One of the favorite plays for Arkansas. You can tell that Tony Connor was ready for that. It was a great call into that play. Here's a big 3rd and long for Arkansas.
Connor's been out with a knee injury since the Alabama game. This is the first 3rd down of the drive for Arkansas. Began at their own 25. Ole Miss has been excellent on 3rd down the last couple of weeks. Allen pressured and sacked back at the 50. Channing Ward gets home on Brandon Allen on 3rd and long.
That was a full turn protection where everybody slides and takes their gap to the right, but he had some pressure in his face and some late pressure from the backside where they just come around from both sides and leaves Allen no place to go. This offensive line has been excellent protecting the passer so far. That's only their 8th sack allowed so far this year. That Landshark defense was hunting on that last one.
Arkansas just doesn't give up sacks, but they give up a big one on 3rd and 11.
Huge drive killer there. Credit that defense coming to play.
Kobe Baker punts to Collins Moore, who grabs it at the 11, immediately dropped by a gang of Rebels rather. So it will be Ole Miss football after the defense holds tough at midfield. A 8-7 Central, only CBS. Chick-fil-A starting lineup for the Ole Miss offense.
Well, defensively, I think Arkansas is going to have their hands full today.
It begins with Chad Kelly. It's been a journey to Oxford, Mississippi. Growing up in Buffalo, nephew of the Hall of Fame quarterback Jim Kelly. Dad came south to play at Clemson. Kicked off the team during the spring game a year and a half ago on to East Mississippi Community College. Won a national title. Now Ole Miss. It has been a drama on and off the field, but Hugh Freeze says he's my guy.
Yeah, and I think Laramie Tunsil's going to be able to help that guy either stay upright, and the running game seems to have been improved with number 78 in there. Watching him these last 2 games, Carter, he's the best left tackle in football, and he's going to play a big role in whether or not Ole Miss is able to move the football today.
3rd game back from the NCAA suspension. Tunsil at left tackle. Here's the handoff to Jalen Walton. Room on that left side. And we take a look at the Arkansas defense.
Well, Arkansas defensively, they've struggled to get pressure on the passer this year, so how defensive end Tevin Beanham and the rest of that front 7 can affect the quarterback is going to be a big story in today's game.
Defense has only 7 sacks. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're going to have to manufacture pressure somehow today.
Kelly on 2nd and 4, complete to the outside. It's Jalen Walton who makes the grab. Jalen Walton has the first 2 touches for Ole Miss.
Yeah, and the left guard got beat that time. Pretty good job one-on-one. That front 4 of Arkansas got home that time. That's a very good and encouraging start. Credit to Marcus Hodge, 93, for a nice one-on-one pass rush. Kelly was able to get that ball away.
Look at the numbers for Chad Kelly, and all good passing yards and touchdowns, but a lot of turnovers. Kelly's going to pull it this time on the zone read and pick up 9.
When you have a quarterback that can hurt you with his legs, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Right there, Arkansas got out of their run lanes, and he was able to cut back in the big hole.
2nd and 1. Ole Miss wants to hurry up. Arkansas wants to play more 20th century style punch you and take their time football.
Yeah, today may be one of those days where a good defense might be a good offense if Arkansas can keep themselves on the field.
Empty backfield, 2nd and short. Kelly from the gun. Pumps. Hit as he throws. It's incomplete. There's more pressure. It was Wise Jr. who got in there. Well, scramble before that 2nd and 1.
Yeah, a couple times Arkansas defensively is able to get home. It brings up a 3rd and short. That first down run by Kelly really sets them up in a position here to be able to convert on 3rd down. Something they've done a so-so job with this year, but this is where Arkansas has to be able to find a way to get themselves off the field. Keep your eye on the tight end there. Ingram, he's a favorite target there on 3rd down for those guys.
Motion on the line. It's like some substitution gamesmanship between the pals, Brett Bielema and Hugh Freeze, those last couple of plays.
Yeah, well, remember, when the offense makes substitutions, it allows
false start. Number 72, offense, 5 penalty remains, 3rd down.
Referee Tom Ritter.
It allows the defense to be able to make some substitutions there, and that's what you have to do against a hurry-up offense like this, is rotate your personnel so that those guys stay fresh.
So from 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, now it's 3rd and 7 after the false start from Aaron Morris.
There you see Arkansas showing some middle pressure there. They bail out.
So Kelly behind his intended receiver, Cody Core, and he took a pop. Pass is incomplete.
There was some great pressure there off the left side. The left guard having some trouble, and that's what throws this football or makes the football be behind the quarterback, is the left guard gets beat. And there's some late pressure there. Wham! Kelly's been on the ground a lot today. The very thing that Arkansas set out to do was get pressure, and they were excellent here on this first series.
A 9-yard pickup on 1st down. You end up punting it away with Will Gleason, the sophomore from Australia. Dean will let it hit at the 28. Down there, and the Razorbacks get it again. 7:58 to go in the first. Brett Bielema's Hogs get the football, trying to push their way downfield again. Both Chants represents spirit and solidarity, loud and proud. If the Rebels win, you'll hear Ole Miss by damn until the sun rises. And if the Razorbacks rise to the top, well, then the Hogs will be called all the way back home. Speaking of calling the Hogs, I noticed Rick Neuheisel and Brian Jones had their pig noses on even before kickoff of this one.
They're just playing the role of the big dudes up front.
And speaking of the big dudes up front, yeah, when it's Brett Bielema, I love it when you asked him about, all right, your offensive line, yeah, defensive line too now. We want the trenches both sides, but there's no doubt where the Razorbacks hang their hat.
That's their bread and butter. It was that way when he was at Wisconsin. 1,600 pounds of beef up front.
This is the cover of the Football Media Guide. I don't know if I've ever seen a media guide with the offensive. That's not a quarterback or a head coach or a great running back. It's the 5 dudes up front.
No matter how much the game of football has changed, the one thing that hasn't is the importance of the offensive line up front.
And it's Alex Collins in the backfield behind Brandon Allen. Collins cuts it back behind the left guard, Sebastian Tretola.
Well, Sebastian Tretola just doing a nice job, but take a look at this. You look all across football, whether it's the NFL, what the average height and average weight is, Arkansas dominates across the board. They're the biggest offensive line in the game of football, Carter. Over 1,600 pounds with an average height of 6'7". They come to work, they mean business.
5 guys from 5 different states. There's a lot of personality, a lot of different personalities on that O-line. Play action for Allen here, and a deep shot. Nice grab. That's complete to the outside for Jared Cornelius, one of those Arkansas wide receivers who's coming back from injury, getting healthy. 24.
Yeah, he runs a corner route here. He's the number 2 wide receiver. He's going to get in between the cornerback and the safety. And Allen's just going to have good time off of play action. Great job by the offensive line up front. and just drops the football right over the defender. Perfectly placed football, and a nice adjustment that time by Cornelius.
Second possession, second time that Arkansas has crossed the Ole Miss 50.
They got to finish drives today. They can't afford to move the ball between the 20s and not get points on the board.
Allen toss to Collins. On 1st and 10 to pick up a 5. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studios for an Advocare update. Well, that is huge for Florida State. They have dominated Clemson in recent years, but the Tigers are #1 heading into that one. Second and 6, another play action pass complete again to the outside. That's Dominique Reed, the junior from Camden, Arkansas, who was coming on strong for the Razorbacks.
Dominic Reed's a tall, lean wide receiver with big play ability. He's had a touchdown every game in the last 4 games. Kind of becoming one of Brandon Allen's favorite targets here in the middle towards the end of the season. But the story of this game so far is Brandon Allen delivering the football with accuracy, moving the football on the ground. This Landshark defense doing a pretty decent job against the run so far.
5 for 5 passing for Brandon Allen so far. But this is the spot in the field where the Ole Miss defense held on the opening Arkansas drive. 1st and 10 from the 33. Give it to Walker, the fullback in the eye, for just maybe a yard and a half. Breland speaks on the stop.
Look at this Arkansas team. They're one of the better teams in the country, Carter, at preventing lost yardage plays. They typically get 3 to 4 yards on 1st down. That creates up some 2nd and mediums, some 3rd and mediums. But the Landsharks on 1st down have been doing a nice job stopping the run. Let's see what the Razorbacks come back with here on 2nd down.
Ole Miss defensive coordinator Dave Womack, 36th season in coaching. His first, 1979, with the Arkansas Razorbacks. They were co-champs of the Southwest Conference. 2nd down, Allen delivers. Touchdown, Arkansas. It's Drew Morgan. Razorbacks through the air into the end zone, and Drew Morgan has the TD grab. 31 yards from Brandon Allen.
Well, it looks like there's 3 high safeties, and the weakness of that is in between the 2 defensive backs. Drew Morgan just going to be sitting here and run a skinny post on the inside and does it. Nobody goes with him. The football's right there, perfectly thrown, and Morgan showing you his ability to run after the catch for the easy touchdown.
Brandon Allen, a perfect 6 for 6 through the air to get the day started for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Cole Hedlund, the redshirt freshman, on the PAT. Arkansas builds it around ground and pound on digging it out on the turf, but Allen through the air to Drew Morgan. Arkansas on the board first in Oxford. Emmy winner Jim Parsons and the rest of the gang on a new Big Bang Theory Thursday, 8, 7 Central, only CBS. 6 plays, 73 yards, and the big one, Brandon Allen to Drew Morgan. Just like you said, Aaron, Brandon Allen can get it done. That is his 50th career passing touchdown for the Razorbacks. Not just about the run game.
No, a quarterback is supposed to be the point guard of the offense and distribute the football to the other playmakers, and Brandon Allen has just done a masterful job of that. He was clutch in the 4th quarter in overtime against Auburn, and he's been clutch in this ball game here today.
6 for 6 to start now. See Brandon Allen, like usual, he's behind some big hogs.
Aside from that 1 sack, they've done a decent job, but it's been set up on play action. When you can hit big passes like that, that'll open up that defense and create some run lanes. I would expect Arkansas to be able to run the football better now, believe it or not, because of that last touchdown pass.
Look more like the Ole Miss secondary in the Memphis game. Not good for the Rebels.
No, it's not. I'm glad you said it.
William Saling's kickoff taken by Walton Short, and he is popped as he gets to the 23-yard line. Now it's time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success. Back to the touchdown, Allen to Drew Morgan.
Well, Drew Morgan's one of those players that seems to play really well on the road. He's lined up there on the outside, pushes his route up vertically, great crisp route, puts his a foot in the ground, and just gets inside of the very soft coverage there by Tony Bridges. Now, Tony Bridges has given up 4 touchdowns. That's his 5th on the year to only 2 interceptions. When teams target a cornerback, it's typically Bridges. They're going to have to tighten up that coverage.
Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell. Bought Hemingway Stadium with Chad Kelly and the Rebels. 1st and 10 complete. Laquan Treadwell has his first grab. Takes it to near the 40.
That time Chad Kelly was sitting back there eating sandwiches. 0 pressure that time by Arkansas. And the Razorbacks have to be able to get home. They've had some success, but when you have this much electricity and firepower out on the perimeter, you got to get to the quarterback.
Maybe a buffalo chicken sandwich, like Jenny likes. Jalen Walton gets a couple there. Boy, of all the great Ole Miss weapons, Laquan Treadwell has the biggest numbers, and there's a reason why. He has come back strong in his junior year.
And so big and smooth, a physical wide receiver that wins with size and those soft hands.
Kelly pressured on 2nd down. Tosses at the last second, complete. Kelly somehow escapes and finds Adebojo for the completion.
Yeah, there's just going to be some middle pressure up off that left side of the offensive line. They bring 2 and they get home. They just miss the tackle. There's the mobility of Chad Kelly, and what a heads-up play for him to deliver the football after avoiding the sack.
Wild pass there from Kelly. So 3 for 5 now, and yet more substitution back and forth between Ole Miss and Arkansas. Razorbacks run a defender off late. Trouble lining up on 3rd and 1. It's Walton hurdling for a first down as he takes it across midfield. Jalen Walton, the senior from Memphis's Ridgeview High School.
Jalen Walton, an undersized back with good burst and good vision. Looks like there's some miscommunication for this offense, trying to figure out where they are, where they're going to line up, and who's supposed to be on the field.
Screen, Treadwell on the outside. 2nd grab for Laquan Treadwell. Part of that big recruiting class in 2013. He's from the Chicago area. Asked him yesterday, all right, so what did the folks back home think when you went to Ole Miss? He said, they didn't believe me when I said I was going to go to Oxford, Mississippi as part of that #1 rated recruiting class.
But he said when he got on campus, the way he clicked with the other players was a big determining factor.
2nd and 6. Kelly flagged down before the play.
False start on the offense. #1 never got set with the team. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Ole Miss seems to be discombobulated a little bit. Maybe they want to slow down this tempo to allow their guys to get set. They're misfiring. They're not a smooth, efficient engine, which is what you need to do in this type of offense. And this is their best player, never getting himself set. He's got to be set for a full second.
Back it into 2nd and 11. Kelly delivers to the tight end Ingram, who was wrapped up immediately by DJ Dean, the junior corner.
And that's the way you have to be able to tackle if you're Arkansas. They're nice, good, tight coverage by #2 Dean. Player down for Arkansas, Carter.
And that is DJ Dean, who missed last week's game versus Tennessee Martin with a toe injury. So we'll check on DJ Dean. He was trying to sub out, get right back out there, and he's struggling. The CBS Sports app. Every play and score, every game, every highlight, right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell from Oxford, Mississippi. Chad Kelly. We talked about how it has really been a journey to Oxford, Mississippi, from Buffalo and growing up when your uncle's the most famous guy in the city of Buffalo, the Hall of Famer Jim Kelly, then booted from Clemson in that spring game dust-up. One, just like Bo Wallace, went to East Mississippi Community College, and there are some similarities. Hugh Freeze says there's a lot of similarities, in fact, between Bo and Chad. But in the end, Hugh Freeze solidly says, Chad is my guy. Sticking with them. They've had a lot of heart-to-hearts. On 3rd and 8, Kelly pressured. He's going to take off and have the first down, and here goes Chad Kelly rolling inside the Arkansas 25. Josh Liddell finally shoves him out.
Going to be some pressure with that front four off the left side of that offensive line. Been very porous today. They just run a TE stunt, which is an exchange of responsibilities, a crisscrossing, but once again the elusiveness of Kelly hits home.
1st and 10. DJ Dean is out there at corner for Arkansas. Ingram right there on that side. Kelly going to the side where DJ Dean's at corner.
Evan Ingram, such a big target. It looked like one of the defenders for Arkansas fell down, but you see how quickly this Ole Miss team can strike.
21-yard pickup, 1st and goal. Kelly, Jalen Walton slicing his way for a touchdown. Go figure. Arkansas through the air, Ole Miss on the ground is how the Razorbacks and Rebels get in the end zone in the first quarter.
And they ran to that left side with Laramie Tunsil, who we talked about at the beginning of the game. Just watch them cave down that inside. The backside guard, number 70, Jordan Sims, doing a nice job coming around and providing the seal block. And a nice move by Walton. It's a touchdown later.
Gary Wunderlich's PAT evens it 7-all. Better than Ole Miss did last year in Fayetteville. We got a tie game. Alabama, you have made a boxing analogy about this matchup.
I think this game is going to be Ali Frazier. 2 good offensive lines, 2 good front sevens. Who can control the line of scrimmage? But it also might come down to quarterback play as well, Carter.
So who's Ali and who's Frazier?
Well, that's going to be determined later on tonight, and I can't wait to see it.
The Thrilla in Tuscaloosa doesn't have the same ring, but yeah, works pretty good. 2 versus 4 tonight. This is game 1 of our doubleheader in the SEC West. Ole Miss, Arkansas. Jared Cornelius lets it bounce back for a touchback. Well, no question who leads the charge for LSU and who leads the charge in college football, maybe all of football. Derrick Henry right behind him. Alex Collins not far behind.
No, Alex Collins again doing a nice job filling in for Jonathan Williams. That burden has largely fallen on his shoulders, and he's done a masterful job carrying that load so far this year. But he hasn't found much room to run early on in this game. This Arkansas offensive line, we expected Arkansas to try and dominate and control the line of scrimmage, but it's been Ole Miss that's been running, and Arkansas struggling to find room to open holes.
Yeah, just like everybody thought. Ole Miss running the ball in Arkansas. Yeah, just like the script called for.
Superman and Pizarro.
Screen to the outside. That's Reed again. Short gain. A chance for us to check in again with Adam Zucker in New York. Wow. Adam, that's a wild one.
Yes, it is. The Big 12 is going to be quite the conference to watch down the stretch.
And they get somebody in that top 4.
They all play each other. They got to be careful they don't all knock each other off.
Brandon Allen on 2nd and 10. Feeling the pressure. Rolling. Throwing. Complete again. It's Reed who makes the grab as he gets to near midfield once again. Now 8 for 8, Brandon Allen.
What I've noticed early on in this ball game is both quarterbacks are extending plays with their legs. I thought that Brandon Allen felt a little bit pressure there that he didn't need to bounce, but he buys time. He keeps his eyes downfield. And look at that football. Beautifully thrown, Carter, right in stride, right on the money for the big first down.
He's averaging 254 passing a game. He already has 111 passing yards in this first quarter, Brandon Allen.
His third 20-plus yard pass play of the game.
One last play in the first quarter. It's Alex Collins tripped up from behind, but that will bring us to the end of the first quarter with the score. Arkansas 7, Ole Miss 7. We'll return to Oxford after this message and a word from your local station.
Not adjust your television set. Yes, Arkansas has 111 passing yards. Ole Miss only 56. The Rebels are out rushing the Razorbacks as we get set for the first play of the second quarter. The odd couple of SEC coach friendship, Brett Bielema and Hugh Freeze. Brett says of Hugh, he's a good Joe. They're buddies. They like one another. You trade Vegas tips more from Brett to Hugh.
That's what surprised me more than anything, was that Bielema was giving Coach Freeze and his wife tips in Vegas.
And they met Bobby Flay and saw Celine Dion. Worked out pretty good. You know, and part of that is the obvious dichotomy between philosophies, offensively, football-wise, and yet they both kind of flipped the script here so far today.
It was interesting. Coming into this game, I felt like both offenses and what their strengths were matched up to the weaknesses of the opposing defense. And I wondered if how they counteracted that, what effect that would have on the game. And clearly, both of these teams are getting off script and taking what the defense is giving them and having some success doing it.
We'll see whether Arkansas runs it or throws it on third down. 3rd and 4. Allen to pass. Allen complete again. There is a flag down, but Hunter Henry finally wrestled down from behind by Zedrick Woods. Now we check the flag.
It's going to be on the right guard. A little bit of pressure upside, just tackled the defender.
Frank Ragnow, 72, if that's the call.
It's going to be a tackle, also known as a hold.
Tom Ritter and our crew huddle up to discuss this one.
Yeah, and that's going to be on Robert Kondichi, who I watched 3 full games. Kondichi was rushing over Ragnow.
There were 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Holding, 74, offense, personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense. Those penalties offset. Replay the down.
Okay. And there's the horse collar there. Offsetting penalties. Here we go. Another 3rd and medium opportunity for this Arkansas team, who leads the conference with over 45% conversion rate.
Second chance for the Hogs. Here come the Rebels. Allen hit as he throws, and it's dropped by a dragging Reed. But here comes another penalty flag. Reed had room to run if he hangs on.
Yeah, he did. Allen stood in that pocket tough.
That's the word that comes up over and over again with Brandon Allen. The toughness has played through a myriad of injuries. On the offense. Here's the call from Tom Ritter.
Interference, number 83, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's going to be on the tight end, Jeremy Sprinkle. Right there, run up the hash. Yeah, just gets called for the pick. You got to play it off a little bit better. The way you beat man coverage is to cross or isolate. Sprinkle just didn't do nearly a good enough job of acting on that one. The officials were all over it.
First incompletion by Brandon Allen. 9 for 10 now. Kobe Baker out of Memphis University School gets a bounce to take it inside the 20, and it'll be down at the 10. You know, when I noticed the Ole Miss kicker is also from MUS. Also somebody in my ear. More on that later. 7-7 between the Razorbacks and the Rebels. And Janney and Anna Ferris are back with a new season of Mom. Don't miss it. Thursday, 9, 8 Central. Only CBS. Well, there's been good Chad and bad Chad. Kind of like there was with Bo. Chad's been solid so far.
Well, he's leading this offense, and oddly enough, Ole Miss is out rushing Arkansas, and a big reason why is because of Chad Kelly's ability to extend plays and get away. He's an extremely mobile quarterback, but he's being improvisational. He's the leading rusher so far today. Arkansas was trying to be able to get pressure. They've done that, but Kelly has negated it with his ability to escape.
83 yards total. He's the leading rusher on both sides. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Ginny Dell, our producer, Sellers Shy, director Chris Benson, associate directors Andy Friedman, Ryan Jagoda. 1st and 10 for Ole Miss.
They're going to take some deep shots here soon.
Judd. On the right side, they get 4. Akeem Judd, who's coming on strong for the Rebels.
And it was interesting talking with Coach Freeze. He talked about how well Arkansas stopped the run, and that was a concern for him. But clearly, early on in this game, he's trying to establish the line of scrimmage. They've run extremely well these last couple games, and that's continued here early on against Arkansas.
2nd down. Kelly, here's the deep shot. Downfield gamesmanship there between Stringfellow and Collins. Heck of a throw by Kelly, but doesn't complete it.
No. Keep your eye on that offensive line. They're doing a masterful job of giving Kelly time to throw. He's keeping his eyes, says, hey, man, go deep like they're in somebody's backyard right there, and throws that football up. And Jared Collins is able to break it away. Kelly's got to be careful with the football. Those are typically 50-50 balls, but when it takes that much time, those are balls that can get intercepted.
Only 5 teams in the nation have more turnovers than Ole Miss. Kelly on 3rd and 6, leaves that one high. It's Stringfellow and Jared Collins matched up again. And so a 3 and out from deep in Ole Miss's own territory.
And what Arkansas is doing to try to be able to get pressure is running their stunt games. Again, that's the crisscrossing of defensive linemen to be able to try and bring pressure when they're not blitzing. They're not a big blitz team. Defensive coordinator Rob Smith likes to play traditional defense, and it worked massively on that last series.
Leeson, the sophomore, rugby-style kicker, kicks it with both the left and the right. This one with the left. Good one. Cornelius backs up, fair catch right at the 41. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC will continue after this word from your local station.
Moment here at the Vaught. We are all tied up as Brad and Olivia just got engaged on the field in a very sweet moment. Olivia thankfully said yes, and the crowd went wild.
Jenny, you know a little bit about that. Maybe you can give some wedding planning tips. I know Jenny can give some dancing at the reception tips as well. Yeah, very touchy moment. They were introduced as fans of the game, and then they really became fans of the game. That is going to be a long line of congratulations. That's awesome. So 1st and 10 for Arkansas out of the timeout. They'll have it at the 41 after the Arkansas D gets a 3 and out. So do you at this point think Arkansas continues to throw it, or they go back to the usual script of pounding it out with Collins and Walker?
Well, you got to keep the defense honest, and to do that, you can't abandon the run. But it's pretty clear, Carter, to your point, that all of their success has been throwing the football, particularly on 1st down.
Sprinkle, the tight end, lined up as a fullback behind Brandon Allen. Play action. Brandon Allen pressured, going to bring it back and incomplete. That's Cody Walker, and it's now back-to-back incompletions for Brandon Allen. That's only a note because he completed his first 9.
And that was John Youngblood, the junior out of Trussville, Alabama, staying home and maintaining his position. He put pressure on there. Allen had to be able to get that ball out, and it was off target. But now you're behind the chains if you're Arkansas. Typically, the play you run after a 2nd and 10 after an incompletion is a run. I would expect them to feed Collins here.
Instead, a screen to the outside. Juggled, but Morgan hauls it in to set up 3rd down and about manageable. So 3rd down and 5 after the completion.
This Arkansas offense likes to run a lot of boots and waggles and play action, so they were expecting some edge pressure this time by Ole Miss. That offensive line has to be able to give Brandon Allen some time, but those Landshark defense, you hear the crowd getting into it. This is an important 3rd down. This is one of the strengths of this team. Let's see what Brandon Allen's able to dial up here.
3rd and 6, amazingly, they haven't converted a 3rd down yet. Allen rolling left, comes back, completes. That's Jeremy Sprinkle, the junior tight end, who makes the grab on third down, going to the tight end.
Sprinkle runs a pivot route here. Just a good job against tight coverage. Going to run out, plant his foot, and then come back inside, flash his numbers to the quarterback. Allen, because the pressure, slides to his left and once again places the ball perfectly for the pickup.
You like the way Allen is responding to that Ole Miss pressure.
He is, because he's keeping his eyes downfield and he's not panicking. This is the maturity of number 10 that we talked about at the top of the show.
He was making his 30th consecutive start for the Razorbacks at QB. Handing off to Cody Walker, the junior from Jefferson City, Missouri. Arkansas is down a running back. Raleigh Williams had the major neck injury at Auburn, so it's pretty much Collins, Walker, and they lost Jonathan Williams back in August. Arkansas has had to deal with a lot of injuries.
Walker's a bigger back, 6'2", 200 and almost 60 pounds. He's a thumper in there, and he's a good changeup. Again, this Ole Miss defense is a little bit undersized, but clearly they're going with him to try and get that physicality back at the point of attack, and it worked on that last one.
Walker close to the first down. We'll see where Walker's forward progress was stopped. DJ Jones leads the tacklers and appears to be just short.
Going to be a weak side zone that they were trying to run inside, and you got to credit this Ole Miss defensive line. They're holding their points at the point of attack and controlling that line of scrimmage. This Arkansas team, watching them on film and all season long, they've had 5 games of their 8 this year where they've rushed for over 200 yards, but they're just struggling to be able to find room to run here. I would imagine that this is a run and one that they desperately need to convert. It's this midfield area where their drives have been stalling.
Arkansas, who lives in the trenches, 3rd and 1. Allen stood up. Did he get enough? Close. How huge would this be for Ole Miss to stop Arkansas on 3rd and less than a yard?
It would be huge, but I think he got it.
Looks like a measurement coming.
It's going to be close. And the official ran in. It was a little bit further upfield than where that ball's placed.
The yellow line is unofficial, but it's usually pretty spot on.
This place is going to go crazy, Carter, if they come up short.
Stretching by that much. So, 4th down. It's pretty much no man's land. Arkansas has struggled in the kicking game. Any doubt here what the Razorbacks do?
No, I think if you're on the road, you like this challenge. You got the biggest offensive line in the game of football. You don't even think twice about this, particularly at this place on the field.
4th and inches. The Arkansas Razorbacks, where it all begins with a physical offensive line, looking for the push. Allen takes it himself, appears to have enough on 4th down. With the forward progress, Brandon Allen on the right side behind Ragnow and Skipper.
Good push at the point of attack. You see Ole Miss double bracketing the center there. But that's what you have to do when you're drive blocking, Carter. It's like pushing a car. You have to come off low with good pad level, drive your legs with good leverage, your hands inside, and they reset that line of scrimmage and picked up a very difficult 1st down.
Thankfully, I haven't pushed a car in a while.
You don't chop your feet when you push a car. You run them off and you drive them. And that's what Arkansas did there.
Arkansas, a huge 4th down conversion. So Allen, play action to the air again. Brandon Allen, complete inside the 20. Arkansas driving again. Jared Cornelius makes the grab.
It's been a really nice job of Brandon Allen today, delivering this football out on the perimeter. Can step into his throw and being deadly accurate on those out-breaking routes all afternoon long.
4th 20-plus yard pass. So 1st and 10, Arkansas in the red zone. Brought to you by Verizon. 58% touchdown percentage for Arkansas. That's below the national average. Not good enough for the Razorbacks.
No, it's 9th in the conference as well. We talked about when you're on the road, you have to score touchdowns here. Field goals won't beat this Ole Miss Rebel team.
Handoff. That's Morgan. Wrestled down at the 16. Morgan thought it was a face mask, but no call. Youngblood and Elston there on the stop.
I agree with him. Jack Youngblood in pursuit. May have gotten away with a face mask penalty there. Another great stop on 1st down by the Land Sharks.
Close.
Nope, it's a shoulder pad. That's clean.
One of those that looks like a face mask or a horse collar, but that's a clean tackle.
Very clean. A couple times now that Jack Youngblood, a backup defensive end, has made his presence felt.
2nd down. Allen rolling again. Throwing end zone. Touchdown. Arkansas. Dominique Reed hauls it in, and the Hogs are on top.
Breakdown in coverage, Carter. You have to have eye discipline. Here he is on the slot. The corner thinks that Brandon Allen's going to run, and he comes up. He's going to come up and try and fill in run support, leaving the receiver all alone. You have to be disciplined with your eyes. And once again, we talked about it earlier, this Ole Miss secondary is appearing like the one that got torched against Memphis.
Cole Hedlund, the redshirt freshman kicker, on for the PAT. A 10-play, 59-yard drive. The Razorbacks convert on 4th down. It was 4th and inches. Was there any doubt Arkansas would go for it? And then a touchdown pass. 2nd of the day, Allen to Reed. Razorbacks lead in Oxford. What they're talking about? How the rain might affect Leonard Fournette's Heisman campaign. That's how prevalent this discussion is around this outstanding running back for LSU.
Well, he seems to be the runaway winner right now, no pun intended, especially with Trevon Boykin maybe struggling early in that ball game against Oklahoma State. The Heisman Trophy appears like it's his to lose, and that big, strong, powerful offensive line that he runs behind is a big reason why.
Fun to be in November when all these things get determined. Walton brings it back to near the 21 after the short kick. Arkansas versus Auburn earlier. 4 seconds in regulation. Daniel Carlson, 41-yard field goal, so into overtime. No way we could show you all. So the 4th OT, Drew Morgan, 25 yards from Allen. Auburn converts. 2nd down. Then Arkansas stopped Auburn on downs. The final 54-46 in 4 overtimes. Arkansas over Auburn. More on that in a moment in some of the extended overtime games that have involved these two teams. 1st and 10, Chad Kelly out of the shotgun, handing off to Jalen Walton, who pushes his way to the 29.
Arkansas is not tackling very well early on this game, which is why the run game is going. But what I'm surprised, we're not seeing more big plays by the Rebels. They lead the conference in that category, but they've been very conservative here today.
Hurry up, give it back to Walton again. Move the chains, 1st and 10, Ole Miss on the ground.
Establishing that run game, but that's where Ole Miss, ironically, can use the run game to their advantage and hit Arkansas with some play-action passes if their secondary isn't disciplined with their own eyes.
Judd into the game at tailback. Walton gets a break. Pistol look. Kelly, there's the play action. There's the deep shot, hit at the line, and incomplete. Just as you predicted, Aaron.
Well, when you establish the run, especially on a 1st down after a 1st down, and Arkansas running onto the field late, they wanted to affect the quarterback, and one of that ways was to be able to get your hands up in the passing lane. You see the adjustments being made, Arkansas running guys onto the field. That helps slow this Ole Miss offense down, but nice 1st down play there by the backs.
Looked like Beenum got his hand on the football. That's 3 straight incompletions now for Chad Kelly.
Back the quarterback.
Kelly, time to throw here on 2nd and 10, and delivers to one of the many targets he has to throw to. It's Markel Pack, the sophomore who is from Michigan. Speaking of Michigan, Dan Werner, 4th year in his 2nd stint at Ole Miss. His dad, George, high school coach. Is it Jowack, Michigan? I'm sure I got that wrong, but we're a Michigan football family.
I believe it's near Niles, Michigan, at the Indiana border.
Kelly, deep shot, grabbed near the 30. It's Markel Pack again. Back-to-back receptions for Pack. That's on Kevin Richardson, the backup safety.
Well, we just saw him get hit. He gets hit again there. But we talked about those big plays, those deep passes. Well, he hung tough in the pocket and delivered a bullet.
After the big completion, hurry up. Kelly dancing in the pocket, still behind the line, so he flings it, almost picked. 2 hands on the football by Santos Ramirez. Nearly had a big one for the Hogs.
I thought the left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, could have got held or called for a holding call there. But that's a couple times we've seen Chad Kelly put the football in harm's way trying to make something happen. One on the deep shot and one there. Remember, turnovers were critical in their loss a year ago.
6 turnovers in that loss in Fayetteville in the rain. Kelly on 2nd down, complete. That's Cody Ford, the senior from Auburn, Alabama, who had the 73-yard touchdown in the win over Alabama.
Yeah, he averages 18 yards per catch. He's really got some big play abilities, a big wide receiver with outstanding size and speed.
We're finally seeing Chad Kelly start to find those guys we talked about right off the top.
Yeah, they're finding in the middle of the field. Looks like Arkansas may bring some pressure here.
3rd and 3. Here they come. Kelly delivers complete. Treadwell stiff-arming his way inside the 10. Finally ridden out of bounds by Jared Collins.
That's what Laquan Treadwell's so good at. He's so big and so physical. With pressure right in his face, Chad Kelly sitting in the pocket. But watch the stiff arm. You mentioned it. Laquan Treadwell's like a tight end out there almost with some speed. He's just such a physical, prominent figure out there. It makes it hard for guys to tackle him.
More substitution issues. It's going to lead to a timeout.
Arkansas, that is their first charge timeout this half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
The Razorbacks have the touchdown lead, but it's Ole Miss from just outside the 10. We talked about some of those overtime games. Our Aflac trivia question. The record for overtimes in a game is 7. It's happened 3 times. Of those 3 games, who was the only person who was coached in one of those games who was still a head coach at an FBS school? The Aflac trivia question. I'm not even sure if we should give a hint.
If we give a hint, they're going to get it.
Okay. Now, again, these teams have been involved in some of them, so just go back. I don't know.
You don't do it.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. We'll get back to it, I promise. Then you'll figure it out when we give you the answer. 14-7.
Ole Miss is 10th in the conference in red zone touchdown percentage. It's an important drive for him here in the middle of the 2nd quarter.
Kelly's going to pull it, take it inside the 5, dive for the goal line, loose football, touchdown, the signal. Kelly crossed the goal line, touchdown Ole Miss. The football comes out, but the signal is touchdown for Chad Kelly and the Rebels.
Chad Kelly all afternoon long has been making plays with his legs. The end just comes down. There's nobody out there in support or contain, and he gets north and south and crosses the goal line with the ball in possession for the touchdown. Chad Kelly is making things happen today on the ground. Done a really, really nice job. It is definitely good Chad Kelly that's shown up this afternoon.
Gary Wunderlich's PAT ties it at 14. Kelly takes it himself, the junior from Buffalo, New York.
with some help from his friends to get downfield. Kelly into the end zone, even at 14. And
won the East. They're on to the SEC championship game. Ole Miss, there have been 23 SEC championship games. Ole Miss, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and SEC newcomer Texas A&M. They've never been there, but Hugh Freeze. Now you asked him a great question. All right, you wake up the day after the SEC championship and you've won it. What has happened?
It quieted the noise. We focused on us, we shut everything else out, and we stayed focused.
Imagine the celebration. If these Rebel fans, I mean, they haven't won an SEC title since '63. They've never made the trip to Atlanta for the SEC championship. It would be earth-shaking in Oxford, Mississippi.
And it really would be the next step in the evolution of this program.
Noble's kickoff. Be taken by Cornelius last second. He decides to take a knee. So Arkansas will have it at the 25. And a 14-all game. Just barely. Monday on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Don't miss Ethan Hawke. Then Tuesday, Stephen welcomes Aziz Ansari and Sonda Rhimes. All new, only CBS. You haven't seen the interview when Charlie Rose was on in Frankenstein gear with Stephen Colbert. It was one of the more bizarre interviews you'll ever see. Fun, though. Henry Jackson, the fullback in there. Play action. Allen's going to dump it complete to Hunter Henry. The junior from Little Rock goes rolling with some help to near midfield again. Off the play action. Arkansas hits Ole Miss.
Carter, this is kind of Superman bizarre. This is the exact opposite of what we expected coming into this game. It's been Arkansas that is hitting big pass plays down the field. Their fifth of the game. Hunter Henry's such a good weapon, but you see the Land Sharks are loading that box, and because of that, they're threatened by Arkansas's run, and what that's doing is it's opening up the pass game.
Hunter Henry from an Arkansas family. His dad Mark played O-line for the Hogs. Collins straight ahead, shaking his way across the 40-yard line near another first down. A chance for us to check in with Adam in New York. You know, the difference, Adam, for TCU is now they're built to come back and score like a Big 12 team looks like. Didn't used to be that way.
And they have Trevon Boykin at quarterback, and we've seen him many times this year bring his team back.
There for the dramatic. Alex Collins in the backfield, 17 yards from 1,000 now. He'll take it on 1st and 10 and subtract about 3 yards from that total for Collins as Fadal Brown, the defensive end, makes a stop.
Yeah, he slants inside, and you can't allow penetration, and that forces Collins off of his natural track that he wanted to take out to the perimeter. Remember, penetration in the run game causes lost yardage plays. Arkansas is typically pretty good at that. But this Land Shark defense controlling the line of scrimmage up front, really putting Arkansas in a bind.
Arkansas has crossed the 50 on every drive. 2 of them resulting in touchdown passes from Allen. To the air again, complete again. A huge hit on the outside from Trey Elston on Hunter Henry.
Elston was a player we talked about needing to be a factor in both the run and the pass game. He's a big physical box safety. Sometimes he can be a little too physical, but he sees Hunter Henry taking off and just closes on him, puts his helmet right in the breadbasket. That's a nice, tough physical tackle there by 7.
Brings up 3rd and 6 for Arkansas.
Looks clean, no pressure.
Allen tosses to Collins on 3rd and 6, leaping his way near the first down. Collins has enough. On 3rd and 6, Collins gets it himself.
Yeah, they pulled Denver Kirkland out there to try and blow up the cornerback who had inside leverage position. But Collins, because of his athleticism, watch him hurdle the defender right there. And that extra little move is what allowed him to pick up the first down.
Listen.
There is some hitting going on down now.
Seems like Ole Miss defense is picking up the physicality.
They are. They said that they weren't having fun, Carter. After that Memphis game, they were playing too tight, afraid to make mistakes. The coaching staff and the players got together, and it's been night and day since then.
Walker in a tailback. Cody Walker stood up at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. C.J. Johnson leads the way. Back to Adam Zucker in New York. Okay, all right, a little bit bigger comeback at him, but I mean, we have seen so many, including Oklahoma State with Texas Tech, so many shootouts. That second quarter still counts as early.
That defense that was riddled with injuries in the middle part of the year played better the last couple weeks, but Oklahoma State's taking it to them.
2nd and 9. Fake it twice in the backfield. Allen to the air, to the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Jeremy Sprinkle. Contact, no flags. Denzel Kimdichie in coverage.
It almost looked like Jeremy Sprinkle kind of gave up on that route. There was a little bit of pump fake that time by Brandon Allen. The ball ended up further along his route progression than Sprinkle did.
Sprinkle thought he was held, but no flag. Allen had completed 6 straight. Would have been his 3rd TD pass, but now it's 3rd and 9.
Been really impressed with the front 4 of Ole Miss. Got Robert Kimdichie on the hash up here, playing the defensive end position. Let's see if he can get home.
Kimdichie backing off into coverage now, and Allen just throws it incomplete. Setting up the screen on 3rd and 9. And keep in mind for Arkansas, even on 4th and 9 now, they've struggled in the kicking game. Only 1 attempted field goal in the last 3 weeks. Freshman kicker Hedlund as long as 27, so he's out here for what would be the longest kick of his Arkansas career.
It's been feast or famine for this offense. Big plays, but they've been getting these 3rd and longs. And I'm telling you, this front 4, this 4-2-5 defense for the Land Sharks been playing lights out. But Arkansas here, with under a minute to play, needs these 3 points.
This is the longest attempt of Cole Hedlund's freshman year. 1:45, but first, timeout.
Prior to the play clock running out, we have a timeout, Arkansas. That is our second Chargers timeout.
So Hedlund from 45, presumably, when we come back. 48 seconds left in the first half. This doubleheader in the SEC West. Arkansas, Ole Miss. The big LSU-Alabama game to come tonight. This is Cole Hedlund out of the timeout. 45-yard field goal attempt for the lead. Longest he has kicked is 27. Longest he has attempted is 41.
It's going to be pretty good field position for Ole Miss if he misses.
Hedlund's 45-yarder spins in good all the way. So mark it down as a new career long for the freshman from Argyle, Texas. Good from 45. So it is Arkansas by 3, nearing halftime. History of Mystery are on the case. Catch the hit drama Elementary. New episode Thursday, 10/9 Central, only CBS. Well, the Razorback fans are happy because they have a field goal lead, but also because this may be what Arkansas wanted to do on the road against Ole Miss.
This is the exact type of game that they wanted, Carter, to play small ball, to control the football. They've dominated time of possession now. I'm sure that they plan to do it by running the football, but by any means necessary when you're on the road in the SEC.
Plain Sailing's kickoff will be a touchback. So with 43 seconds left in the second, we revisit our Aflac trivia question. Aflac! We asked you about the record for overtimes in a game. 7. It's happened 3 times. Of those 3 games, the only person still a head coach at an FBS school, David Cutcliffe, who has lots of ties to Ole Miss and the Manning family. David Cutcliffe, now at Duke, involved in a very wacky one on the Halloween night.
Yeah, he was, and unfortunately that one loss against Miami cost them another loss against North Carolina. They just didn't show up today. They took a pretty bad L on the head.
Cutcliffe, the head coach here when Eli was a quarterback, was offensive coordinator at Tennessee. When Hayden was a quarterback there, they continue to work together in the offseason.
Interesting play call there. Ole Miss is an explosive offense. They do have 3 timeouts, so they can still run the football. Their whole playbook's wide open.
Hurry up, they're used to this. Incomplete pass, though. And Adam Boyjo turns around to look at Kelly to see where they got off rhythm.
And there was some pressure off that right side. Dietrich Wise got home. This Arkansas defense that only had 7 sacks coming into this game is finding a way to affect the quarterback. That's exactly what you need to do. And the Razorbacks are getting it done.
20 seconds left in the half, 3rd and 4 for Ole Miss. Running it, Jordan Wilkins, the sophomore from Cordova, Tennessee, has a first down. We'll see if Ole Miss maybe takes another shot. Again, they're used to going hurry up. Clock stops to reset the chains. Ole Miss takes a timeout. So 17 seconds left. We'll see what Hugh Freeze has ready for the end of the first half. Arkansas by 3, 17-14, 17 seconds left in this first half at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, celebrating its 100th year, hosting Ole Miss football. And out of the Hugh Freeze timeout, we'll see what the Rebels do here is maybe take a shot, try and get in field goal range for Wonderlic.
Well, at the very top of the show, we talked about the deepest and most explosive set of wide receivers, certainly in the conference, arguably in the country. My guess is with Chad Kelly's arm, they'll take a deep shot here.
Kelly ready to go. Out of the shotgun. Pressured out of the pocket. Here's a deep shot from Kelly. Downfield, incomplete. There's the flag on Jared Collins, the corner. Getting tangled up with Derek Jones.
Collins had perfect inside position. He turns his head right at the last minute. I don't know if that affected what would have been the catch, but Gaines was right there. Perfect inside position. It just looks like there was some inadvertent contact.
Yeah, you caught it. It's Gaines instead of Collins.
6 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
9 seconds showing in the half.
He had a big interception a week ago. There's certainly contact. He turns back and looks for the football, but he affected and impeded the receiver's ability to make the catch. He's got some laundry for it.
Wonderlic, the sophomore from Memphis's University School, MUS. Will he have a chance to tie it at the end of the half? Maybe Ole Miss gets in the end zone. 9 seconds. Geico halftime report. Adam, Rick, and BJ will update you on TCU, Oklahoma State, Clemson, Florida State, and of course preview tonight's showdown between LSU and Alabama. 9 seconds away. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell. Game 1 of our doubleheader in the SEC West. You see the target line for Wonderlic right around the 30. 9 seconds, 1 timeout left for Ole Miss. Kelly over the middle, complete. Treadwell nearing that 30-yard line inside. Can he get down or out of bounds? Shoved out. 1 second showing. Tolliver pushes him out. Exactly 1 second, 1 chance for Wonderlic.
Well, you want to keep the receiver inside and in front. And unfortunately, they let Laquan Treadwell catch that football, and he was very close to running out of time, but that little burst of speed at the end, that's the only positive result that could have happened on that play with only 9 seconds left, was for him to get out of bounds so that they could get this play dialed up and get the field goal kicked. Good execution that time by Ole Miss, but they got a little lucky too.
Will be a 37-yard attempt coming from the sophomore Gary Wonderlic. well within his range. His long 45 versus Alabama had a career-long 47. Now, Bielema is discussing with the officiating crew. He may have a problem with.
Ruling on the field is that the runner was out of bounds with 1 second. That plays under further review.
So we'll go to our replay official, Al Ford, to try and see if there was 1 second up there.
Certainly looked like there was to me.
Shoved out, so Treadwell touches there. 1 second showing. So the foot down, and then you see the 1 second showing. Sometimes there's leeway. Officials will say, hey, we give a little bit of leeway because it's not all instantaneous, but that's pretty clear picture there for the replay official, Al Ford.
Yeah, to the naked eye, when it was live, it certainly looked like they had that 1 second left. This officiating crew's been pretty good today, and remember, this play was set up with a pass interference penalty by Rohan Gaines, Arkansas's first of the day.
1 second remains.
Good quick review as well.
Like that.
So 1 second, that came from the booth, not a challenge from Bielema. Wunderlich sets up again for a 37-yard attempt. Bielema does have one timeout. Wunderlich gets off the 37-yarder, and we are even at the half, tied 17. A very quick field goal drive executed so close to perfection. 1 second up there for Laquan Treadwell as he steps out of bounds. So Gary Wunderlich evens the score, 17-all between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Jenny Dell is with Ole Miss head coach Hugh Freeze.
Coach, you've been great in the trenches, being able to stop the run, but how do you address the secondary in the second half?
Yeah, it's frustrating right now, man. I think we got a really good offensive plan. We're just not getting any possessions, and we're not getting off the field on third down defense. Have given up way too many explosive pass plays. We've got to get in there and settle our secondary down and get a different plan.
There's a great momentum shift right there. How do you carry on the momentum?
Well, we get the ball first. That's big. And we've got to flip the field. Every possession we got that half was inside the 20. So it'll be good for us to get the ball here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That is the end of the first half with the score 17-all between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Treadwell makes the grab, makes the sprint, and most importantly gets out of bounds. Wunderlich ties it. Adam Zucker, Rick Neuheisel, Brian Jones be along with the Geico halftime report after this word from your local station. Second down, Allen delivers. Touchdown, Arkansas. He's going to take off and have the first down, and here goes Chad Kelly. Kelly's going to pull it, take it inside the 5, dive for the goal line. 17-all, game one of our doubleheader in the SEC West. Arkansas and Ole Miss even. A moment ago, Jenny Dell spoke with Arkansas head coach Bret Bielema.
Coach, it seemed like in the first half the passing game made up for the running game. Was that unexpected, or was that part of the game plan?
Well, we knew if they were going to defend the run, we'd have to hit some passes, some play action. We did that. We got to be opportunistic, especially down here in the red zone. I like the way our defense playing. The quarterback's he's going to give us one. We just got to make it happen when it's there.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
So that was Coach Bielema in the first half. Aaron Taylor, what do you expect in the second half?
Probably more of the same. I would expect Arkansas to try and run the football, but you heard Bielema say that Chad Kelly's going to give him one. There was a couple passes early on that ball game that Arkansas could have intercepted. Remember, turnovers are going to be key in a game like this. This could be a difference of one possession. It's a very close contest.
Just what Arkansas wanted, really.
Different means to the same end. You're exactly right.
That last second field goal by Ole Miss and allow the game to be tied at the half. Saling's kickoff taken by Walton inside the 5, and Jalen Walton now across the 25 with a block on the edge. Walton brings it all the way back out to the 40-yard line. Jalen Walton, 107 all-purpose yards a game, give him 37 there for the senior from Memphis. So our first half stats, time of possession hugely in Arkansas's favor, but as the guys in New York talked about, as we've talked about, the fact that it's Ole Miss out rushing Arkansas big surprise. Conversely, Arkansas more passing yards than Ole Miss. Give it inside to Jalen Walton on first down. So Chad Kelly, the junior quarterback from Buffalo, New York, via Clemson and East Mississippi Community College, now at Ole Miss. You talked about the dangerous passes. He's thrown 12 interceptions this year. Only 5 teams in the nation more turnovers. No picks thrown yet. That one off the hands of Adeboyejo.
Adeboyejo's usually got pretty good hands. That was a huge missed opportunity. Arkansas was extremely soft in coverage there, leaving the middle of the field wide open. Adeboyejo just drops it. This ball he's got to catch.
Empty on 3rd and 9. Ole Miss has had good success with the empty backfield. 5 wide receivers. One very deep safety. Kelly eludes the pressure. Scrambles across midfield. Kelly inside the 40. Arkansas gets the pressure, but yet again they don't finish off on Chad Kelly.
That was the problem with them in the first half, is that they were getting pressure affecting the quarterback, but they're not staying in their rush lanes. And once again, Chad Kelly makes them pay with his legs.
22-yard gain for Kelly. So heard Hugh Freeze tell Jenny right before the half, hey, you know, it makes me happy we get the football to start the second half. And now here the Rebels are driving. 1st and 10. Jalen Walton stood up maybe a couple. And it's Bijan Jackson, the sophomore defensive tackle, and Greenlaw there on the stop.
Well, we want to take about the QB comparison today. Both of these quarterbacks have played at an extremely high level, and they've extended the plays, allowing the pass game to go. We saw Chad Kelly actually turn into a runner there, but Brandon Allen's been extending plays by buying time in the pocket.
Play action, more pressure. Don't get the sack. Kelly completes inside the 25 now. The check down. Walton makes the grab. It's Ellison Dean there.
Carter, that's at least the 4th sack opportunity that's been missed by Arkansas. You have to be able to get Chad Kelly on the ground, and the Razorbacks just can't.
Only 7 sacks on the year for Arkansas, none in this game. A blade to the outside for DeMaurier Stringfellow, shaking his way inside the 10 and into the end zone. DeMaurier Stringfellow. Ole Miss wastes no time taking the lead at the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
Really nice job by Ole Miss here. And Stringfellow making people miss in space. Poor tackling by Arkansas. 4 or 5 tackles. You see safeties, you see cornerbacks trying to get the ball carrier to the ground, but Stringfellow brings it home early here to start the second half.
Wunderlich's PAT. A celebration for DeMaurier Stringfellow and the Rebels. In less than 2 minutes, Ole Miss on top in the second half. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Number 18, boy, it's big around here. Big in the Manning family. Dad Archie's number 18 jerseys back into the archives for Cooper and Eli, who both went to school here. And you probably already know that Peyton went to the University of Tennessee. Now the Mannings loom large in Oxford, Mississippi. Carter Blackburn and Aaron Taylor. Aaron's looming large in Oxford, Mississippi as we speak. Jenny Dell on the sideline. Our Home Depot SEC on CBS doubleheader. Begins with Arkansas, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama tonight. It's Ole Miss on top after the quick strike touchdown. Nathan Noble's kickoff, taken by Cornelius at the goal line. Jared Cornelius popped as he reaches the 17, maybe gets to the 18. Let's go back to the touchdown, Aaron.
Well, it's a combination of soft coverage and poor tackling this time by Arkansas defensively. Allowed Stringfellow the touchdown from outside the 20-yard line. Right there, there's one tackle, another tackle there, a third tackle. Just poor angles And poor tackling by Arkansas, something that showed up in the first quarter, allowed Ole Miss to take the early lead here in the second half, but all importantly, some momentum as well. Let's see how the Razorbacks respond offensively. They've got to get their run game going to win this game.
So far in this game, every score has been immediately answered on the next possession in the Razorbacks and the Rebels. So here's Brandon Allen under center. Cody Walker on the right side. Big hole running behind Ragnow and Skipper.
We saw Arkansas throw the football a lot on first down in the first half. The running game is about rhythm. You want those big offensive linemen to get a lather going. Be interesting to see the play calling here in the second half. If they want to get that run game going, they have to stay committed to it and then take the play action shots down the field like they did in the first half.
That's a shocking number you saw there. Kelly with more rushing yards than Arkansas. Allen to Walker for the first down. Tackled by C.J. Johnson, the middle linebacker from Philadelphia, Mississippi.
The defensive line from Ole Miss is slanting a lot. That means where they line up, once the play starts, they immediately move to an area in unison to create confusion against that offensive line, and it's really given Arkansas, a unit that typically does a pretty good job of picking up that movement. It's given them a lot of trouble so far today.
Arkansas in no rush. Here's play action. Throw on first down, complete again. Morgan makes the grab as Ole Miss continues to struggle with the play action passing from Arkansas.
Brandon Allen's accuracy once he's outside the pocket on the boot and waggle and naked game, just like we saw there, has been outstanding today. They need to bring some edge pressure if you're Ole Miss to try and get him off of his mark, get him in his face, throw the timing off, because anytime he breaks the pocket, he's putting the ball on the money.
Are you surprised that Kim Dichie and the Rebels haven't been able to put more pressure on him?
Well, they got some pressure early. They got a sack, but then they went away from it. The offensive line really buckled down and has given Brandon Allen some time to throw.
And here's Allen with a quick hitter to the outside. Cody Walker out of the backfield. Close to crossing midfield again. Mentioned earlier that every Arkansas drive they have crossed the 50 against the Rebel D. Trey Elston makes the stop this time.
A lot of times they're not getting pressure because of the play call selection for Arkansas, Carter. They're moving the release point, meaning getting Brandon Allen outside on the edge. So even if they can beat the offensive lineman, it makes it really hard for Ole Miss to get home with Brandon Allen on the run.
Alex Collins back in the backfield for 2nd and 6. Collins will take it on 2nd down. Stood up and dropped by John Youngblood, the junior from Trussville, Alabama, who's played well for the Rebels.
Yeah, they're trying to establish their will at the point of attack. Remember, 3rd down was something that we heard Hugh Freeze talk about, needing to get his unit off the field. This is a 3rd and very makeable 4. Every play call that you have on your call sheet, if you're Arkansas's offensive coordinator, Dan Enos, is there. Let's see what Arkansas dials up with. With the way that they've been getting upfield, look for a screen or a draw here.
On 3rd and 3. Allen pumps over the middle to a dragging Morgan for the first down. Sheds the tackler. Morgan gets it to the 31. Allen has time to throw, finds Morgan, and Hilton finally finishes it off.
Drew Morgan is so good dragging across the field. You see him there on the left side. He's just going to get in front of the linebackers and pulls away that separation right there at the end, Carter. That was pretty good coverage, but a receiver's job is to create some space so his quarterback can put the ball on the money. And just like it's been all day, Brandon Allen hits right in stride.
Morgan has played a much bigger role for the Razorback offense after a myriad of injuries, including Hatcher and Hollister and Cornelius. He's become the go-to guy. Play action again on 1st and 10. Allen to the end zone again. Touchdown, Arkansas. Jared Cornelius hauls it in. 30 yards for Allen's 3rd TD pass. And Arkansas responds again.
One of the favorite plays that Arkansas likes to run is the weak side ISO. You're going to see the safety bite up on the play action, which completely clears out the room for Jared Cornelius. They're think and run there, but just a great stutter go. Fakes like he's going to run the corner, comes back on the post with another perfectly thrown football. The pass game for Arkansas is on fire.
Cole Hedlund for the PAT. Even again at 24. Hedlund takes a tumble, but it counts. Put another point on the board. Emmerich there to help him out. Well, you get in the end zone and you point away from tying. It looks like Hedlund just slips. Doesn't matter if it's pretty or not. The PAT is good. And we've got a tie game again, even at 24. Brandon Allen. It's not a surprise anymore. Arkansas through the air. Touchdown. John Vaught, Frank Broyles, Archie Manning, Jerry Jones, Eli Manning, and Darren McFadden. Those legends between the Rebels and the Razorbacks that you saw coming back. Even at 24 now. The touchdown pass from Allen. Now 52 touchdown passes in Brandon Allen's career. So he is now tied for 4th on the Arkansas Razorbacks all-time passing touchdown list. Walton's going to take a knee this time. His big return set up the last touchdown. Let's take a look at our AT&T strong performance.
Well, we knew that Arkansas had a good offensive line running the football, but they've done a really nice job of giving Brandon Allen time to throw the football when it's been a drop back pass. Allen, of course, is broken outside the pocket. But whether it's on the edges or up front in the middle, they've even got the tight ends up there blocking. The Land Sharks haven't been able to get home, and when you can step into your throws and drive the football like he did to Drew Morgan there, you've got some things going on. This offensive line certainly figured to be a factor, but today it's been in the pass game for the Razorbacks.
Last drive a perfect 4 for 4. Now Ole Miss tries to respond.
Number 6,
Jalen Walton shoved out by Dre Greenlaw, the true freshman weak side linebacker from Fayetteville High School.
Been really impressed with him. He's an athletic, rangy playmaker. Great instincts for a young guy to be able to run around. They lost Martrell Spate from a year ago. They certainly hope that he can develop into the type of player that he was.
Defense had 4 players drafted last year, so now their replacements trying to run down Bolton and the Rebels. Finally, it's Santos Ramirez, a redshirt freshman, who tracks him down.
This is just gashing you at the line of scrimmage. Nobody there at home. There's some empty gaps there, some poor angles again, and it's the run game of Ole Miss that's been impressive here today. Been primarily on the legs of Brandon Allen, but Walton that time gashes the Razorbacks up the middle.
Slant incomplete. Off the hands of Cody Core.
You almost wonder if Cody Core heard some footsteps there. That's a couple wide open passes we've seen the Rebels receivers drop today. And again, soft coverage by Arkansas. I think Arkansas needs to buckle down and try and defend these guys a little bit more and jam them at the line of scrimmage. Look at that up top.
Lots of space. Kelly's going to hand off to Akeem Judd, the junior from Durham, North Carolina, via Georgia Military College, brought down by Brooks Ellis.
You know, I'd imagine at some point Ole Miss is going to try and hit their bubble screen game with that soft coverage out on the perimeter. They haven't really dialed that up. When you look at passes behind the line of scrimmage, quarterback Chad Kelly has a touchdown on the year, but he's also got 2 interceptions. So even though there's short throws behind the line of scrimmage, you got to be careful with possession.
Motion, flags down, free play, deep shot for Treadwell. Got it inside the 10. Takes the big blow and hangs on. Laquan Treadwell sets up Ole Miss for 1st and goal as Kelly takes advantage of the offsides by Arkansas.
Offside, defense, penalties applied, result of the play is a first down.
Well, one of the things that Chad Kelly's so good at is driving the ball downfield, perfectly located football. He completes over 50% of his passes that go longer than 21 yards. That big arm of his is deadly when he pushes the ball down the field.
Treadwell over 100 receiving yards again, 5 straight games. Kelly, design run, second rushing touchdown of the game for Chad Kelly. Back and forth we go to begin the third quarter between the Rebels and Razorbacks. Now it's Ole Miss on top again.
Well, the pacing of the first half favored the Razorbacks. It was small ball where Arkansas was holding on to it, but here Ole Miss is running the football. No backside pursuit. Just walks in for the easy touchdown. Once again, Chad Kelly's legs being the difference.
Wunderlich's PAT. Would have thought the most effective running back in the game between Arkansas and Ole Miss would not be a running back. It would be the guy who hooks up with Laquan Treadwell to set it up. And then Kelly again into the end zone. Rebels lead it. Again this season as the West frontrunner. But losing in week 3 to the Rebels may have just made the tide meaner. While LSU is roaring behind the powerful Tiger Leonard Fournette. Today's game and tonight's will go a long way in answering one of college football's biggest questions. Who will win the West?
Well, that's a great question, Carter. When you take a look at LSU, they finally developed an ability to be able to throw the ball. But it's about the running game for them, and they're going to be running into a buzzsaw with one of the better front sevens in college football in Alabama. But Alabama, can they protect the football? Can Jake Coker keep that football and maintain that possession? I think quarterback play could have as big of a factor in that game tonight as the run games will.
LSU still undefeated in SEC play, but they take on the Rebels in 2 weeks. Ole Miss, if they win out, they win the West for the first time. Cornelius wrestled down at the 17. Tuesday on CBS, one pill makes him a criminal's worst nightmare and the FBI's greatest asset. Don't miss a new episode of the hit drama Limitless. Tuesday, 10/9 Central, only CBS. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Ginny Dell, crew from Oxford, Mississippi, where Kelly and the Rebels, another quick strike touchdown drive. Gone back and forth throughout the game. One response after another. Now it's the Razorbacks' turn to respond in a very different way. Brandon Allen under center. Play action again on first down. Nice catch by the tight end Jeremy Sprinkle near another first down.
That's the same play they've run on first down several times here. It's play action bootleg. He gets outside, and you saw Ole Miss that time bring pressure off this top side edge, but it was from the wrong direction. They roll it into the boundary. Sprinkle with a nice one-handed catch picks up the first down. A very fast-paced game certainly benefits Ole Miss here. I think Arkansas needs to slow this thing down. They don't want to get into a shootout with a team that leads the conference in explosive plays.
The drive began at their own 17, so if Arkansas can get it rolling, they can run some time off the clock. Get back to their kind of pace. Allen's going to give it to Collins near the 34. Alex Collins closing in on 1,000 rushing yards. Speaks there on the stop.
Passing game's been there all day for Arkansas and Brandon Allen. But you like the ability to be able to pick up 5 yards on first down because your entire playbook is open. And with the type of team that Arkansas is, they're going to huddle and let it go tick, tick, tick. They want to slow this game down exactly like they did in the first half, but Ole Miss hasn't been letting them.
Offensive coordinator Dan Enos. 2nd and 5. Sprinkle's in there at fullback. Play action again. Sprinkle again. First down again.
Coming into this ball game, the combination of Jeremy Sprinkle and Hunter Henry was giving defensive coordinator Dave Womack some fits. He was concerned about how do we defend two guys that create mismatches. That time again, it was play action. They chopped down the defensive end, and there's a wide open tight end in the flat. The flats have been a very soft spot for this Land Shark defense today.
6 straight completions for Brandon Allen. Collins on 1st and 10 across the 45. Talked about Dave Wabach, 36 years as a collegiate head coach, 2 stints at Arkansas. His second stint at Arkansas was in the early 2000s, and one of his coaches was Bobby Allen, Brandon and Austin's dad. Wabach fondly remembers Brandon Allen and his younger brother Austin running around the practice field. Now they're the starting quarterback and backup quarterback for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Coming into this game, I thought it was going to be Arkansas's defense that was going to have to affect the quarterback, but Ole Miss has to find a way to try and get Brandon Allen off of his game.
There he is again, play action, 2nd and 6. There's the pressure from Kimdichie, downfield, complete anyway. Morgan hauls it in. Allen delivers, rolling away from the pressure.
Carter, when you're talking about accuracy of a quarterback, it's not just about where to throw the football, it's when. He lets Morgan find the open space in that zone defense. He was patient. The throws weren't there. The coverage initially was pretty good, but because of Brandon Allen's patience, Drew Morgan was able to get himself open once again, and on the move, he delivered a beating.
Make it 7 straight completions now for Brandon Allen. Give it to Collins. To the 32 for Alex Collins, who has carried the load this year with the injury to Jonathan Williams, who has 2,300 plus career rushing yards. But now Collins, Walker, the 2 guys, mostly Alex Collins, the junior from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, he's the guy that's been getting it done for him all year. 3 straight years with 1,000 rush yards, and that's been with him splitting time with Jonathan Williams.
Just went over that 1,000-yard mark. Only Darren McFadden from 05 to 07. That 3 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons for Arkansas. There's another play action on 2nd down. Allen leaves it incomplete, with Robert Kimdichie getting some pressure on Brandon Allen.
Robert Kimdichie looped all the way around to be able to contain Brandon Allen. We thought that they were going to be able to bring pressure, but he comes all the way around this outside. To be fundamentally sound as a defense, somebody has to have contained. But because of that athleticism and burst, he got in Brandon Allen's face and affected the throw.
Allen and the Razorbacks have been solid on 3rd down all day. This is 3rd and 6.
Couple tight ends here down at the end of the line of scrimmage.
Allen over the middle, complete, right at the sticks. Morgan hauls it in, and he appears to have just enough.
Well, the 3rd down favorite target's usually been Hunter Henry, but once again, Drew Morgan, as a slot receiver, has a really good understanding on the right side of your screen of sitting down in the hole and showing his numbers, and Brandon Allen, throwing away from the defender, picks up the 1st down. I'll tell you what, man, Arkansas is putting a clinic in the pass game today.
You're surprised by that?
Well, not really by the play of Brandon Allen. What surprised me is that they're continuing to do it when they have no ability to stay balanced with the run game.
5 passes on this drive. Allen, there's the play fake again on 1st down. Incomplete this time. So let's go to Adam Zucker in New York for a Ford update. Okay, now, Adam, I will concede it's going to be very difficult for TCU to come back.
Well, Carter, we've been talking about it. This November is shaping up to be one of the most memorable we've had in quite some time.
Got a good one going here to begin our doubleheader in the SEC West. LSU, Alabama tonight. Trouble at the mesh point, but that doesn't matter. Collins in the open field inside the 5. Elston finally brings him down. 1st and goal.
Man, you had so many defenders trying to get themselves upfield. They just run a trap and split the defense, and that's what that play is designed to do. You pull backside linemen when you're a defense that's trying to get yourself upfield, which Ole Miss has been doing, that's a perfect play call, and the patience of Collins makes it pay off.
It's like Nkemdiche had a chance. He took the wrong guy in the backfield.
Ball awareness is something that he struggled with. He's slow to react and fight pressure is what I've noticed about him on film.
Walker and Collins both in the backfield. 11th play of the drive. First and goal. Walker takes it in. Arkansas responds again. Aaron, you talked about the need for Arkansas to go on a long drive and establish their pace, their tempo, their game, and that's exactly what the Razorbacks do.
And that's exactly what they did, and this is their type of ball game. This is what you want to do. There's a little bit of movement there. Great job at the point of attack by the center and right guard there. We saw that Robert Nkemdiche was in the backfield that last time. That time he got blocked on a combination block. Because he got out of his gap, the touchdown was right where he was supposed to be.
Edlin PAT, and we are now tied at 31 with 2:14 to go in the third. Arkansas back to the ground game in the end zone, even at 31. On NFL Network. So Rex Ryan's first game versus the Jets since he was fired. Oh, this is going to be a fun week leading up to that Thursday night football between the Bills and the Jets on NFL Network. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell, producer Sellers Shy, director Chris Vincent, our whole crew from Oxford, Mississippi, where we have it's a good one and it's kind of a weird one. Every time a team has scored, the other team has come back and scored to answer. So here we are, even at 31.
This game is shaping up to be a game about which defense can force a turnover or get a stop at a critical time.
Maybe premonition for Ole Miss, who has struggled with turnovers. Only 5 teams in the nation more turnovers. Ole Miss is yet to turn it over today. Walton brings it out to the 15, back to the TD.
Yeah, here's Robert Nkemdiche right here. Keep your eye on Dan Skipper and Frank Ragnow, the right guard and left or right tackle. They're going to combination block hip to hip, working up to the second level. That's a perfectly executed combination block on the backside of that inside zone run. And once again, this Arkansas offensive front maybe getting into a lather. They stuck with the run a little bit more on that drive. They're starting to feel some swagger there. Look for Arkansas to go back to the run game, even though the pass game's been there for them.
Chad Kelly from the shotgun. Pressure. Kelly back inside the 5, runs away, throws downfield, and it is complete. Another missed opportunity for the Razorbacks. Pack hauls it in. Kelly, improvisation.
He has been outstanding today. There's going to be some pressure from the left side. The left guard gets bull rush, and that's what pushed him. The end tries to run around, but he buys time with his feet, and it ain't a pretty pass, but it's a successful one.
Oof. I guarantee you there's a lot of Ole Miss fans, probably Hugh Freeze, saying no.
Yes.
On the field with a completed catch. That plays under further review.
Man, both these quarterbacks have been good today, Carter.
How nervous should Ole Miss faithful be at this point? I mean, considering they turned it over and all year long, there's 0 on the board, and Arkansas just keeps coming close.
So far, so good. That looks to be a pretty clean catch to me. Underneath, you take a look. Nice zoom in there by the truck. He demonstrates and maintains control all the way through the catch. Looks pretty good, but to your point, a little bit nervous. I mean, we opened the show today talking about the fact that Chad Kelly in the last 3 games has thrown more interceptions, 7, than he's thrown touchdown passes, 6. He's done a nice job protecting the football, but you heard Bielema at halftime say that kid's going to give us one.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. First down Ole Miss.
That goes down as a wild completion. So Breeze, who threw all the drama on the field, off the field for Chad Kelly. Now he asserted very strongly, he's my guy. We're rolling with Chad.
And I played with a guy in Green Bay like that, Brett Favre. Chad Kelly reminds me a lot of Brett Favre. Big arm, improvisational, but he can also get himself in trouble.
Pressure off the edge. Kelly complete on the screen. Give it right back to Markel Pack, the sophomore, playing a bigger role for the Rebels, part of that deep receiving core. The last 4 possessions, all scores for Ole Miss. The field goal was at the end of the half, so it wasn't that Arkansas got a stop. It was just the end of the half to tie it. That's Akeem Judd. Takes it to the 40. Brooks Ellis there on the stop.
Akeem Judd had a nice touchdown run, the only one they scored on the ground a week ago, making some people miss on the second level. And I'm telling you, Laramie Tunsil coming back on this offensive line has made them a lot better across the board.
Judd pushed back on 3rd and short. He got nothing there. Jamichael Winston in there to lead the charge.
Just going to be some penetration up front. Good push. And it was going to be the right guard there getting beat inside. You cannot allow penetration, and that's a huge stop right there by Arkansas. We talked about this being a possession game. That last play was a pretty simple one, but before this game's over, it could prove to be very important. We're all the way through the 3rd quarter here, and this Arkansas offense has been heating up.
Gleason rolls out, gets it away. The sophomore from Australia with another good rollout kick. Cornelius is going to bring it back to near the 29, nearing the end of the 3rd quarter in a tie game. College Hoops tips off Friday night on CBS Sports Network, featuring the #1 team in the nation. The top-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels take on Temple 7 Eastern, followed by Navy facing Michael White's Florida Gators. The Veterans Classic only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Andy Kennedy has a nice new home, the Pavilion at Ole Miss. That'd be Andy Kennedy, not Randy, who's been causing havoc around Oxford if you've followed along on social media. So now Arkansas gets the football back with a chance to take the lead now because the defense gets the stop.
See what they dial up here on 1st down. Boot waggle naked, or are they going to run it?
Walker stood up, but he gets a good push. C.J. Johnson finally makes the stop. Walker pulls forward with Big Dan Skipper giving him a shove. That will likely be the last play of the 3rd. In fact, the Razorbacks already holding up the 4, headed to the 4th, even at 31. So at the end of the 3rd quarter, tied up 31 between Arkansas and Ole Miss. We'll return to Oxford right after this message and a word from your local station. The end of the 1st quarter. We were tied at the end of the 2nd quarter. So, of course, at the end of the 3rd, we are even 31-all between Arkansas and Ole Miss. So don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts, which means it's going to be in the 4th quarter, and it's going to determine who wins Game 1 of our doubleheader in the SEC West, with LSU and Alabama still to come.
Well, remember, Arkansas's defense made a stop. Can this Ole Miss defense that pulled itself up off the mat after giving up almost 500 yards and 40 points in that loss to Memphis? This team leads the conference in interceptions. They've had 12 already this year. 3 have been returned for touchdowns. Man, wouldn't that be a great change of pace if the Land Sharks can find a way to get a pick or a pick 6.
It's a sellout crowd. It's November. Big implications for the SEC West title. Fun to be here for this one. Allen completes again. The red-hot Brandon Allen completes to Hunter Henry. But we go back to New York. Adam Zucker. It's the game that Aaron's called Ali Frazier.
I'm telling you, that LSU defense is quite a bit better than people give them credit for. Godshaw and Neal up front are beasts.
There's Alex Collins on first down. Across the 45. Well, as you heard, Alabama has won the last 4. You talked about how Alabama's front 7, kind of amazingly enough, may still be underrated.
Well, I don't know if they're underrated, but they've found an ability to mix up personnel where they can be stout against the run and have big bodies, but that pass rush that's been a nice addition, something that they couldn't do a year ago, has allowed them to be able to get after the quarterback and finally shore up that back end and force some turnovers.
Ned versus Henry, Miles versus Saban, Alabama versus LSU. Allen pressured again, escapes incomplete. Rare incompletion intended for Sprinkle. It's Marquise Haynes, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, who gets the pressure.
Yeah, Haynes is going to be able to come off this outside edge right in his face. He's a guy that leads his team in sacks with 7.5, but he just misses it there. And that nice little dip move by Brandon Allen bought himself some time, but one of the rare throws we've seen tonight that have been off target. But here's a third down. If you're a land shark, now's the time to go hunting.
Allen from the shotgun on 3rd and 7. Play clock winding down. Just get it off. Pressure. Allen escapes. There's a flag down as Allen rushes for the first down inside the 25.
Robert Kimdichie, nice job getting penetration and upfield.
21-yard pickup if it stands.
He typically wins with power, but that time he won with quickness.
Holding number 3 defense says that was a one-way. That 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
They're going to run some stunts up front, and keep your eye on Robert Kimdichie. He's going to come in a great swim move over Sebastian Trottola. Trottola can sometimes get out over his toes and lunge. He's got a powerful punch. But again, Brandon Allen's legs are able to escape, extend the play, and pick up a huge first down. But the penalty certainly helped.
So the ball spotted inside the 12. Only sacked once today.
Might be the most pressure I've ever seen in a ball game. Only one sack.
Allen swings it outside. Mitchell blown up immediately by Mike Hilton, the senior who wears 38. Special number around here, honoring the legacy of Chucky Mullins.
Just a really nice open field tackle. With Tony Connor back in the game, Hilton told us yesterday that they were going to move him to cornerback. He's wearing that 38 jersey and making it proud.
Said since his freshman year, it was a goal of his to earn it his senior year. Considers it an honor to put on that 38. 2nd down and 9. Morgan motions. There's the play action. Allen finds Morgan. Leaping, stretching, touchdown, Arkansas. 4th touchdown pass of the day for Brandon Allen. And the Ole Miss defense is getting sick of seeing play action, waggle, Allen complete. This time it's Morgan who takes it in.
That bootleg game has been deadly for Arkansas tonight. The basic fundamental of defense is you have to have somebody that contains the defense. You have to set the edges, and Ole Miss just hasn't done that tonight. And once again, Brandon Allen takes advantage of it.
Cole Headland's point after. Arkansas grabs the lead, 38-31. Brandon Allen, 30th consecutive start. The hometown guy grew up a Razorback, and he is having one of his best days 4 TDs for Allen. This one. There's a lot to recap. It was Arkansas coming out throwing. Brandon Allen to Hunter Henry to get it rolling. Rather than the rushing attack, it's Arkansas through the air. But Chad Kelly has had the response. Kelly on the ground, indeed showing off his swag. But Brandon Allen, he's now tied his career high with 4 touchdown passes in the game. Back and forth in the third, the quick strike. Stringfellow shaking his way into the end zone. But it has happened all game long. Responses. It was Allen to Jared Cornelius. Kelly, second rushing touchdown. Back and forth. Arkansas finally on the ground with Walker. And this just moments ago, that 4th touchdown pass. Allen to Drew Morgan. Boy, it has been an action-packed meeting between Arkansas and Ole Miss, and there is still 12:20 to go in the 4th in a 1-touchdown game.
We opened tonight's show talking about the Ali Frazier match that would be later on tonight between Alabama and LSU. I'll tell you what, the road to the SEC West rolls through Oxford, and there's been some counterpunching getting thrown here today by both of these clubs.
The Rebels win out, including a win over LSU in 2 weeks. Ole Miss makes its first trip to Atlanta. Lane sailing. Short kick. Bounces. Walton still has it. Trying to set up the blockers. Walton only gets back to the 17. So Arkansas on special teams trying to contain Jalen Walton, and they've done it pretty effectively. 9 of the last 10 possessions between Arkansas and Ole Miss.
In a game like this, a punt is the same thing as a turnover, right? I mean, you get these back and forth high-scoring games. Brandon Allen has been on fire. His last 2 games, over 600 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. Can Ole Miss's Chad Kelly do the same? He's put the ball in harm's way twice. If they're going to win, he's got to protect the football.
Kelly's going to keep it. He's the leading rusher in the game. Has 2 rushing touchdowns. Kelly 65 rushing yards. Tolliver makes the stop.
It's a nice little element to this offense. You get yourself outnumbered as a defense when the quarterback can turn into a running back. That zone read's been wide open for him all game.
Junior from Buffalo, Chad Kelly playing it to the outside, complete. Attaboy Joe on the screen with blockers. Razorbacks trying to rip it out. Attaboy Joe holds it strong.
But there was some poor tackling as a result. We talked about them going to that quick screen game and the bubble screens. And once again, it's missed tackles allowed for all those yards after the catch.
2 catches in the game for Attaboy Joe, the junior from Cedar Hill, Texas.
Free play.
Kelly, another deep shot after an offsides, and it's another big completion. This time it's hauled in by Cody Core. Kelly and the Rebels have taken advantage of those free plays.
I'm telling you, usually quarterbacks are very accurate.
Offside, defense, the penalties applied, play results for the first time.
And that's the second time in this game we've seen Arkansas jump off sides and Chad Kelly makes them play. If you're on defense, you got to continue to play. But Kelly, man, just putting the ball on the money when he pushes it down the field. His accuracy on the deep ball has been spot on tonight. All season, really.
The last free play resulted in the big hitter to Treadwell, set up a touchdown. This time it goes to Core for 37.
Stay on sides.
8 play, 20+. Kelly slant. There's Treadwell inside the 20. Laquan Treadwell, the junior from Illinois, leads Ole Miss into the red zone.
Such a big body. He's almost like a tight end out there. He's so big and physical. Look at his arms, man. He's all cut up. We talked to him about his ankle. He said he doesn't quite trust it yet.
Walton, it's maybe 1.
But I'm telling you, Laquan Treadwell's been a player. That gruesome injury that he had a year ago against Auburn, coming back. He certainly had a tremendous year. The production's there, but the yards after the catch just haven't been. And I think it's because, and he told us, it's been a couple times, man, I see that play in my head, and I'm worried about getting hurt again. He's got to be able to move past it, but it's a process, and it'll take some time.
This is second down. Treadwell stretching. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Laquan Treadwell finishes it off. And Ole Miss is a PAT away from tying it again. Make it 5 straight for Treadwell. 100-plus yards and a touchdown grab.
It's a beautifully run corner route. You can see those are touchdowns before they even happen. That big play offense of Ole Miss came to play, and remember, jumping off sides by Arkansas really helped that offensive drive stay alive.
Wunderlich boots it through, and we are tied at 38 again. 10:30 to go in Oxford. Laquan Treadwell wants it more than you do. Touchdown, Ole Miss, even at 38. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by New York Life, Nissan, Advocare, and by Chick-fil-A. Oh, the famous shrimp and grits at City Grocery. How famous? Bob Ryan from the Boston Globe and his wife Elaine came down this weekend for a November weekend, and we joined them for dinner last night, and it was memorable. Boy, terrific. That was fun. Bob Ryan says we just like to take a trip somewhere fun, so we've been hearing about the Grove and the Square in Oxford, Mississippi, so they came down to see it on a cool November Saturday.
With the shrimp and grits, though.
Oh, yeah. Legit. It's all legit. I went soft shell crab, and that was legit, too. Nathan Noble's kickoff. It'll be a touchback for Arkansas. They'll take it at the 25. So 10 minutes, 30 seconds to go in a game that, I mean, it has been back and forth all the way throughout. No reason to think that won't be the case in the last 10:30.
I mean, this is a little bit of a watered-down version of what you see in the Big 12, where it's score, 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 back and forth. The SEC is known for its defensive play, but this game very well may come down to the last possession. Arkansas going to try and bleed some time here. Their longest drive was their first one. A little bit over 5 minutes. They have dominated the time of possession, but they have to play this right because they don't want Ole Miss to have the last possession of this game.
Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell. This is Brandon Allen to throw. It is incomplete, just short. Reed thought he had it, but it's ruled incomplete. That's a rare incompletion for Brandon Allen, who has been magnificent. Kelly's been outstanding as well.
26 of 34 tonight is outstanding. Brandon Allen has been locating the football extremely well, but so has Chad Kelly. Both of these guys have had the games of the century, at least for them this season anyway. It's just been remarkable, not only how well they've thrown the ball, but the way they've extended plays.
A lot of big numbers. Maybe the biggest are the zeros at the bottom. 0 INTs, 0 turnovers.
Across the board.
Allen going to hand off to Cody Walker. Running on the right side behind Skipper and Ragnow. Trey Elston makes a stop with C.J. Johnson.
Carter, take a look at this. This time Ole Miss is trying to bring some corner cat pressure off that outside. Remember we said they needed to blitz for the rollout. This time the play call of Arkansas is a run right up in the middle. Had that been a bootleg, that would have been a huge sack. But because of the play call of Arkansas going back to the run game, they put themselves in a third and manageable situation.
Even at 38 in the fourth. Razorbacks facing 3rd down and 4. Brandon Allen delivers again. Hunter Henry makes the grab at the sticks. Appears to be close enough.
Both of the tight ends for these teams, Hunter Henry and Evan Ingram, are favorite targets on 3rd down. When you're throwing at a body that's 6'5", 250 pounds as a quarterback, you feel pretty safe because you know he can protect the football. It's a nice route showing his numbers. Catches it in his body. You want a tight end with a little bit softer hands, but in traffic like that, you got to be able to protect it. He shielded the ball very well.
Sprinkle in the backfield. It'll be Cody Walker. Hit at the line, but Walker falls forward, so manages to avoid the negative play like the Razorbacks have excelled at.
I think Walker there missed the hole. He bounced that to the outside. If he had been patient, put his foot in the ground, he could have got north and south and picked up a first down. You see here, he's going to bounce outside. There was a hole in there. If he had run inside of Jeremy Sprinkle, the tight end, he would have picked up several extra yards.
There's Alex Collins. Back into tailback now. Allen, straight drop, screen, Collins. Gets across the 40 to set up another third down and manageable, as they say, for Arkansas.
Sebastian Tretola really struggling with Robert Kondichi. That was a matchup that I wanted to see. You have to go 1,001, 1,000 go. That's kind of the count on a typical halfback slow screen like that, but because Kondichi got upfield, that caused some pressure. Look for pressure again from the Land Sharks. They've been getting close. Can they get home? Tight coverage, they're coming.
Kondichi on the sideline for 3rd and 4, but first, a timeout. 7:43 to go in the 4th. Good one here in Oxford, even at 38. 3rd down, coming back. Surviving a test. Boy, November football is fun everywhere, including here in the SEC West. Tied 38 between Arkansas and Ole Miss. 3rd and 4 coming out of the Arkansas timeout. 7:43 to go.
I think you got to throw the football here. You've been struggling to run the football. I think you use your tight ends that as a group have played very well tonight, but Brandon Allen has to be able to protect the football to do so. Also watch draw if they do decide to keep it on the ground.
Chad Kelly leading the cheers at a sold-out Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Allen on 3rd and 4, stands and it's incomplete, intended for Hunter Henry. The Ole Miss defense gets a stop, a rare one.
I almost felt like Brandon Allen felt some pressure, some phantom pressure from the backside. He was drifting as he releases the football. And the ball once again out on the outside. You see him drifting there. His feet aren't set. He comes up over the top. And a rare miss for number 10 tonight.
Just wide for Hunter Henry. So for just the 3rd time in this game, Toby Baker on to punt. Collins Moore back to receive it for Ole Miss.
Great stop by Ole Miss that time.
Moore, no fair catch, has it at the 17. Maybe a yard for Collins Moore. So 7:27. Give it back to Ole Miss. Chad Kelly leading Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Maybe inspiring the Ole Miss defense. They get a stop, get the football back in a tie game. Our game, a lot to catch you up on, including Florida State, Clemson, TCU, Oklahoma State, Iowa, Indiana, and of course getting set for Alabama versus LSU tonight. This is game 1 of the doubleheader in the SEC West here on CBS. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell in an offensive explosion. That was just the 6th punt of the game.
It's been unbelievable. This is the number right here that is the most impressive of anything. When Ole Miss has struggled, it's because they haven't protected the football. But not only has good Chad Kelly showed up, so is good Brandon Allen. Does he have another drive in him?
21 turnovers this year by Ole Miss, none in this game. Kelly pulls it on 1st down. Chad Kelly running again. The dual threat explosion of Chad Kelly.
He's done a really nice job of keeping this defense honest. They dial his legs up early on 1st down, and he makes them pay. Just a nice block out on the outside edge. The end gets sucked up, and Kelly does the rest.
Be interesting to see how Ole Miss plays this time-wise, clock management-wise, if they continue to hurry up.
Yeah, you saw they dialed up a run on that 1st down. Now they're checking at the line of scrimmage. My guess is they'll hurry to the line of scrimmage, but they'll try to bleed this clock a little bit.
Kelly's going to give it inside. Wilkins, huge hole. Jordan Wilkins across the 40 for an Ole Miss first down. Gaines makes the stop.
Carter, missed tackles have been a problem for Arkansas all game long. This is a counter OT, and they just gash it up the middle. They have people in position to be able to make plays, but they just simply can't get the ball carriers to the ground. Andre Oliver was right there, and he missed the tackle in the hole.
Over 150 rushing yards in the game for Ole Miss. That bodes well under Hugh Freeze. Only 2 losses in his 4 years when they've rushed for 150 plus. Play action, Kelly, why not? Little play action to the tight end. Ole Miss can do that too. Evan Ingram makes the grab.
Carter, we talked about missed tackles. That's been a problem for Arkansas all game long. When they're rushing the passer, that's something that they wanted to do, was to affect the quarterback. They got to him, but they couldn't get him down on the ground. Then when the ball went out on the perimeter, they were just letting people go. Demarie Stringfellow being able to take advantage of it, and we just saw it there. Andre Tolliver in perfect position in the counter OT, misses a tackle in the hole for the big gain.
This is Wilkins on the carry. Gets a block from Treadwell on the outside as Ole Miss goes over 500 yards of offense in the game. Now they average 520, but some of those against the UT Martins and Fresno States racking up big numbers.
Yeah, and you mentioned Laquan Treadwell blocking on that outside edge. Watching film, and I watched quite a bit of it getting ready for this ball game. Receivers blocking on the perimeter was something that definitely stood out.
2nd and 7. Kelly dancing, rolling with a huge hole ahead, blocking on the outside from Stringfellow, helps Kelly get inside the 20 on the scramble.
I would expect Ole Miss to hurry up here after a big game to keep these guys off balance. But you see the soft coverage there. There's just nobody at home. Everybody's so threatened by Arkansas. They're running deep, and that opened up the middle of the field. And once again, Chad Kelly's legs picks up a big, big, big first down for them.
98 rushing yards in the game for Chad Kelly.
And a lot of those aren't on designed runs. They're on scrambles and improvisation.
Into the red zone, Kelly screen, complete. Adeboyejo, touchdown! Another Arkansas missed tackle allows Adeboyejo into the end zone. And Ole Miss is on top with 4:55 in regulation.
Well, we talked about it again. Outside on the perimeter, right there in the hole. You have to be able to get the ball carriers down, break down, square up, wrap and drive. And that time, once again, as you said, Carter, a missed tackle allows for a nice pickup and a touchdown, giving them the 7-point lead.
4 minutes, 55 seconds left in Oxford. Kelly, the improbable running star of the day for Ole Miss, setting up the TD. Adeboyejo into the end zone. Rebels lead it. 4:55. Miss into the end zone. Touchdown. They lead it. Bad news, they only take 2 minutes, 17 seconds off the clock. So Brett Bielema and the Arkansas Razorbacks have 4 minutes and 55 seconds if they can put another drive together. Try and add some more drama late here at Vaught Hemingway.
Well, we just said the longest drive of the day for them was a little over 5 minutes, so that is plenty of time, especially with 2 timeouts. Now remember, Arkansas won a quadruple overtime game against Auburn. They're going to have a lot of confidence about a close contested game down the stretch. That game is going to help them here on this drive with 4:55 left in the fourth.
Now the touchback, and you look at one of the talk about the Ole Miss receivers and how they have been big all year. None bigger than this on this wild play against Alabama. Kelly bouncing around off of Treadwell to Adeboyejo as Ole Miss beats Alabama back-to-back years for the first time. And now here's Adeboyejo with another big TD grab. This one a little more of the normal variety, shall we say. But it's Adeboyejo with a touchdown grab to give Ole Miss the lead. Now can Brandon Allen, the senior, quarterback for the Razorbacks. Lead an Arkansas response. Collins takes it on first down. Alex Collins bounces outside for an 8-yard gain. Time to check in with Adam Zucker again in New York. Big question for Clemson. If they were ready for that challenge from Florida State, and the number 1 next to their name. 2nd and 2 for Arkansas here with Jackson and Collins in the backfield. Collins straight ahead, huge hole. Collins across midfield, tripped up inside the Ole Miss 50.
This is just a lead play, and what I've noticed is that Ole Miss is in cover 3. They have 3 high safeties. Usually you want to be able to run against cover 2 because it's a numbers advantage. Against cover 3, you have to keep taking what the defense gives you. Ole Miss lined up perfectly to allow themselves to be gashed on that last one.
Under 4 minutes, Danny Nos and the Razorbacks looking for a game-tying or potentially game-winning drive to break the SEC West chances for Ole Miss. Collins again on the right side. Alex Collins muscling his way for another first down. Kalo Moore makes the stop. No question who Arkansas is giving the football to in this critical situation.
Had 5 touchdowns a week ago, and that time the play started out to the left, but his vision brought him back to the right-hand side. For this drive to be successful, Arkansas's offensive line has to be able to strain and sustain its blocks through the point of contact, and they did it beautifully, allowing for another first down.
Arkansas driving, 3:10 to go. Collins again, stood up this time, no gain, may have lost a yard. As Channing Ward, the senior from Aberdeen, Mississippi, makes a stop.
To me, it looked like the hole was a little bit to the outside. And that time he just bounced it back inside. It looked like he almost had his eyes closed. Nowhere to run. Once again, Ole Miss's front on that defense doing their job and controlling the line of scrimmage. Brandon Allen hasn't thrown the football much here. He may be forced to here on second down. Comes pressure.
Picked up from the shotgun. Allen, incomplete. Overshot the tight end, Jeremy Sprinkle. 3rd and long for Arkansas.
That was a great play by Brandon Allen. He threw the football away. There was some pressure. It got picked up, but nobody was open. So he gave himself and his team another chance. He didn't force the football. That's a win.
In a game dominated by the offenses on both sides. The Ole Miss defense trying to get the critical stop with 2:18.
Keep your eye on Hunter Henry right here on the end of the line of scrimmage. He's their 3rd down favorite.
Allen, time to throw, complete, inside the 20. It's Reed on the longest 3rd down conversion of the day for Arkansas.
On the snap of the football, Ole Miss starts to backpedal. Here's Reed. He finds the hole in that zone defense. Once again, cover 3, and Brandon Allen puts the ball on the money. What a night number 10 is having. We talked about Hunter Henry being that favorite 3rd down target. He did a good job being a decoy, which helped open up that pass for the big pickup.
Back to the I formation. It's Cody Walker who is dropped in the backfield by Denzel Kimdichie, senior outside linebacker. Arkansas is in the red zone with 1:30 to go. Our red zone brought to you by Verizon. Both teams have been solid in the red zone, including Arkansas, 3 for 3 touchdowns.
Red zone was an area that Arkansas was able to take advantage of. Can they do it once again here? They need a touchdown with just over a minute to play, Carter.
Play fake. Allen to the end zone. Touchdown with 54 seconds remaining. It's Dominic Reed who holds it in. 45-44. Allen and the Razorbacks deliver again.
And the reason they did is because there was perfect protection up front. Brandon Allen, these guys trading body blows back and forth, each quarterback finding a way to will his team into the end zone with pinpoint precise passing.
Arkansas going for the PAT to tie it. Headland with 53 seconds. The PAT is good. We're tied at 45. Oh, just like you wanted in November in the SEC. Gonna look back at this one as a SEC West champ, including Ole Miss's chances.
Once again, just running a skinny post. It looks like there was some confusion there early on. It's one-on-one coverage. The corners just saw it. The safety moved over off the hash, and that's Brandon Allen's read. Once that happens, he puts the ball again in number 87's hands. What a night Reed has had, man. When they've needed big plays, he's been there every single time.
Now remember back to the end of the first half when Ole Miss, with less than a minute to go, drives down and gets the field goal opportunity for Gary Wunderlich that tied it at the end of the half. It was a perfectly executed last-minute drive. They left exactly 1 second chance for their kicker Wunderlich. Now 53 seconds showing for Ole Miss. 3 timeouts. Chad Kelly and the Rebels, who are used to hurry-up offense, are going to have a chance to win it. The ball is in Chad Kelly's hands last, at least for now.
Well, the first thing you got to do if you're Arkansas is cover this kick and prevent them from getting a big return like we saw Walton do earlier on in the game.
Took them only 43 seconds to set up for that tying kick at the end of the first half. Walton after the bouncing kick from Salem. Walton sets him up at the 30 with 47 seconds. So if you're talking about a chance for Wunderlich, you basically need about 40 yards to get it near the 30 to give Wunderlich a chance for the game winner.
Well, Arkansas's tried to bring pressure all game and haven't been able to get home. They get pressure, but they can't affect the quarterback and get him down on the ground. The worst thing that can happen to Ole Miss is for them to take a sack. So look for Arkansas to try and be able to get some pressure, but they have to firm up that defense and not let those guys run free like they've been doing all game long.
Chad Kelly with an empty backfield. Delivers complete. There's another Arkansas missed tackle, allowing Pack to take it to the 47. 40 seconds showing. Clock stops as they move the chains.
And that's their captain, Brooks Ellis, the leading tackler on this team. Usually a sure tackler, just goes up high and misses.
Ole Miss needs 40. They get 17 there. Now the clock rolling. All ready for play, 30 seconds. Kelly delivers complete again across the 50. This time it's complete to Cody Core. Timeout Ole Miss. Still 2 left for Hugh Freeze with 25 seconds.
Yeah, they're trying to play for the field goal right now. Maybe you take a shot. You've got a couple timeouts. You have to keep one in your back pocket in case you get tackled in bounds and want to kick that field goal. So look for them to work the edges. But again, high percentage passes. You can't put the football in harm's way, and you can't take a sack.
Remind you again that Ole Miss, despite that number 18 ranking, despite the loss to Memphis, they control their own destiny for the SEC West. So it's Alabama and LSU with that 2 versus 4 matchup, but Ole Miss to keep their chances of winning the West and going to Atlanta for the first time. This is a critical 25 seconds.
And what a win would mean for this Arkansas club if they could beat the number 18 team in the country by throwing the football on the road. That may be all the confidence that the Arkansas Razorbacks need to get over the hump.
Empty again for Kelly on 2nd and 6. Chad Kelly is sacked. Just
take a timeout.
With 22 seconds, the timeout called. It's Wise who drops Chad Kelly.
Carter, they hadn't been able to get home all game long. Said the one thing that they couldn't do is be able to afford to take a sack. He almost jumps off sides. The snap's a little bit low, but just a good inside move. The right tackle there, Fawn Cooper, who was filling in for Laramie Tunsil, just opens up the inside. He stays square, but he oversets, opening up the entrance, and that's what allows for the sack.
Just the 8th sack of the year for the Arkansas defense.
And it was a big one.
So 1 timeout left for Ole Miss. This is 3rd and long coming up.
Now, because of that sack, they've only got 1 timeout, so you now have to start thinking about preserving some time. You need to push the ball down the field, but you also have to start to factor in the clock with only 22 seconds left in minus territory with only 1 timeout.
3rd and long. Kelly scrambling away from the pressure. He's going to get out of bounds. 16 seconds, 4th down coming up. Ellis forces him out.
But it's a 4th and medium. You have your entire playbook open out on the edge. Arkansas has been missing tackles. Do they go to the well one more time? Or can Chad Kelly use his legs to find a way to make a play?
It's a 4th and 6, but Ole Miss is about 20 yards away from the field goal opportunity for Wunderlich. Because they want to give him a chance to win it.
Whatever happens here better happen quickly with only 16 seconds left.
1 timeout left for the Rebels. Kelly, 4th and 6, pressured again, escapes. Complete, incomplete. Off the hands, DJ Dean disrupts it. Adebayo had 2 hands on it. Ledbetter applies the pressure, and DJ Dean knocks it away to give the football back to Arkansas with 9 seconds.
DJ Dean has struggled tonight with tackles, giving up touchdowns, but he comes off of Adebayo there, or excuse me, off a Stringfellow, and just dislodges the ball from Adebayo. Just a heads-up play. When the Arkansas defense needed to find a way to get a stop, they got it. Now the question becomes, if you're Arkansas, with a quarterback that's had a super hot hand tonight, can you find a way to come up with a miracle here at the end of this game?
The Arkansas kicker, Cole Hedlund, had his career-long 45 earlier today. He is just 1 for 4 from beyond 27 yards.
Arkansas has had 7 pass plays of 20 or more yards tonight. This is pretty run-of-the-mill for Brandon Allen. They can get this in 9 seconds and call a timeout and line up for a field goal.
Allen, 6 seconds showing. Downfield. It is caught by Reed near the 30. 3 seconds showing on the clock. Timeout granted. Cole Hedlund, the redshirt freshman from Argyle, Texas, who has never made a game-winning kick at any level, junior high, high school, in his freshman season at Arkansas. His longest attempt prior to this game was 41 yards, only 1 try in the last 3 weeks. But it will come down to Hedlund, the freshman kicker, with a chance to win it on the road for Arkansas. Otherwise, we've been tied at the end of the first, the end of the second, the end of the third, and we may be tied at the end of the fourth.
Dominique Reed, watch the body control. The ball's thrown up behind him. He catches it at its high point behind him. That wasn't a very well thrown ball by Brandon Allen, but Dominique Reed goes up, catches it and brings it down for another one of his clutch catches, Carter. 7 tonight for 105 yards, and the last one was the biggest.
It will be a 47-yard field goal attempt for Headland. Fired it at 8:41, so long as it even tried, but the 45-yarder earlier was easily good. Hugh Freeze does have one timeout left if he wants to ice the kicker Headland. Trying for a game-winning kick for the first time in his football career. The 47-yarder from Headland is blocked. Loose football. We are headed to overtime. 45 all between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Laquan Treadwell stretching his 6'2" frame to get the block. Tied at the end of 1, at the end of 2, at the end of 3, and of course, tied at the end of the fourth quarter in Oxford.
See Laquan Treadwell lined up, just does a good job of timing it, gets that big hand on it.
Even at 45, and when we come back, it's overtime in Oxford. Bridges, important correction there.
And here he is right there. He just does a good job of stepping forward on the big surge, and credit that defensive line for allowing Bridges to step forward, who times it perfectly and high points the field goal to preserve the win, and or give them an opportunity rather to go into overtime. Preserves the loss, I guess.
So Speaks gets a hand on it on the defensive line, and then Tony Bridges, number one.
At the first overtime period, the winner of the toss may choose offense, defense, or an end of the field. The other team can then choose the remaining option. Each team has one timeout. What is your call?
Tails.
What?
Tails.
Tails. It's called tails. It is tails.
It'll be defense.
Defense.
So even at 45, remember our Aflac trivia question? We talked about the 7 overtime games. There have been 3 of them. This is the second overtime game in the series between Arkansas and Ole Miss. You go back to 2001 and that epic 7 OT game, 58-56. So this is the beginning of the overtime between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Let's look at our overtime rules. Treat it like a baseball inning. There's a top and a bottom. Both teams will have opportunities, so that's why Arkansas winning the toss. They want to go on defense first so they can have the opportunity at the bottom of that first overtime. If we reach a third overtime, then teams must attempt the 2-point conversion after a touchdown.
Well, neither of these teams are very good in this red zone area. Arkansas only scoring touchdowns 58% of the time. They're 9th in the conference. Well, Ole Miss is 10th in the conference, only scoring touchdowns about 54% of the time. We talked about this at the top of the show, the role of the tight ends between Evan Ingram, Jeremy Sprinkle, and Hunter Henry. Expect those guys to show up and make plays here from the 25-yard line in.
Said whoever had the football last was likely going to win this football game. It was nearly Arkansas with a field goal. We'll have another chance. Jalen Walton, huge hole on the left side. Walton on the first play of OT takes it to the 11.
Well, the team that we expected to come here and throw the football all over the field has, but they've also done a better job at times of running the football. First down runs for Ole Miss have been huge, and that last one was a beauty.
Arkansas already has an extended overtime win over Auburn in 4 OTs. Kelly got a hand off to Walton again. First 2 touches of overtime go to Jalen Walton. Brooks Ellis makes the stop.
Down here, down inside the 10-yard line, you have to watch Chad Kelly's legs. He's been hurting Arkansas all night. Arkansas has to keep somebody home to watch number 10.
Has 2 rushing touchdowns. Kelly is going to scramble again. Kelly into the end zone. Touchdown. The 3rd rushing touchdown of the game for Chad Kelly. Just as you called it, Aaron Taylor.
Chad Kelly sells this pass hard. It's a bootleg. He fakes the run. He comes out. He wants to throw it, but that little delay there keeps Arkansas's defense frozen. They didn't keep somebody home to account for him, and once again, Chad Kelly hurts the Razorbacks on the ground.
Wunderlich puts the PAT through, so Ole Miss gets the football first into the end zone, 7-point lead. But it has happened throughout this wild one. A score and a response. Arkansas will have a chance in the bottom of the first overtime. Now it's Brandon Allen's turn.
They fake the zone read. He rolls out, breaks contain. There's nobody home, and he walks in. That's a no-brainer. You take what the defense gives you, and you run where they're not. And Chad Kelly's done a masterful job of that tonight. Now it's Arkansas's chance to return. Dominique Reed's been huge tonight. Drew Morgan on crossing routes across the middle of the field's been huge. But also keep your eye on those two big tight ends lined up right here.
If the Rebel defense gets the game's first takeaway, Ole Miss wins it. Now both tight ends shift.
Look how Ole Miss responds.
Play action again. Allen downfield, knocked away, incomplete. Kendarius Webster, the sophomore corner, knocks it away. Robert Kimdichie bringing the pressure.
That ball was forced by Brandon Allen. He hasn't done much of this tonight, but Jared Cornelius was extremely well covered. Brandon Allen tried to throw that football, but once again, the location was off. It was low and at the feet of Cornelius into tight coverage. Great first down stop that time by the Land Sharks, and this crowd is feeling it.
Play clock at zeros. Flag not thrown. Now, here comes the call.
Delay of game. Number 2. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
And the sellout crowd here at Vaught Hemingway Stadium affects this one.
Carter, that is Arkansas's second penalty of the night.
What a critical time for it. They're ready for a hotty-toddy. Allen on 2nd and 15. Loose football. Allen falls on it at the 40. It's Marquise Haynes who strips it away and nearly ends it. Allen back on top to give Arkansas another chance.
Marquise Haynes, the leading sacker on this team, beats the right tackle. Dan Skipper around the horn, just beats him with speed, and Brandon Allen is lucky to fall back on that football. What's your 3rd and 25 play, Carter?
How about play action throw to the tight end? First down markers all the way up to the 15. Allen from the gun. Incomplete. It will be 4th and 25. One last chance for the Razorbacks. Hampton nearly picks it.
If you're Arkansas, you got to go back to what's been working for you tonight. Dominique Reed's had a huge night. He's a tall, lean wide receiver with big playability. We've seen him do his thing. He's 6'3". Throw the football up and let one of your taller receivers go high point that football. You got a couple tall tight ends to do the same, but it all starts up front with pass protection.
Last chance for Brandon Allen and the Razorbacks. 4th and 25. It's complete to Henry. Ole Miss knocks it away. Incomplete. Oh, correction. It's on lateral. Arkansas keeps it going. Collins
is going to take it inside the 15, and he has the first down on the lateral. Henry makes the catch, tosses it back. Collins is down. There's a couple Razorbacks down.
They're down, Carter, but I don't know if they're out. Hard to see who hits that football first there.
First down, Arkansas. Morgan slow to get up. Said last chance for Arkansas, but it was 4th and 25, and a wild play as Henry makes the catch, then laterals to keep it alive for Collins, and now it will be first down for Arkansas. What a wild play by the Razorbacks.
What a heads-up play by Hunter Henry. He knows he's going to get tackled, has no shot, but he has the wherewithal to try to keep the play alive. And who other than Alex Collins finding the football and getting it past the line to gain. They're going to take a look at this, Carter. Be interesting to see who touched the football first when Henry lateraled it backwards.
Well, the replay booth is going to take a look at this. So Al Ford in the replay booth wants to take a look at the play. We'll find out as quickly as possible as to what exactly they're taking a look at. It's at the end of the play to see if the ball came loose from Collins, who it was recovered by, and critically where it was recovered. So if the ball comes loose from Collins right here, if it's a fumble, recovered by Arkansas. But this is the end of the play that the replay booth wants to look at.
Looked like Reed was right there. He threw it back and he lateraled it back like it would be in regulation. So you had Hunter Henry who lateraled it back because it was 4th down, and it just seems like Alex Collins got confused before he was going down. He was trying to lateral it, maybe thinking like the time was gone. But this is overtime. Once you pick up the first down, you get a fresh set of downs. It might have just gotten ripped free there too.
Now, even if it is loose and recovered by Arkansas, it's past the line to gain for the first down. So it would be an Arkansas recovery.
Yeah, this is going to be Arkansas's ball. They recover it after the first down, but Alex Collins, because he saw Hunter Henry lateral the football, I think, felt like this was the last play of the game, even though it was overtime, and tried to lateral it.
There was a fumble on the play, recovered by Arkansas at the 11-yard line. It is their ball, first down.
Wow. So Henry makes the lateral to keep the play going. Then Collins, after he had picked up the first down, nearly puts that football into Ole Miss's hands.
And it's situational awareness in a big game. Those things happen with young players. That's what was so amazing about Hunter Henry, keeping his wits about him and keeping that play alive because of what we just saw from Alex Collins.
So now it's 1st and 10 for the Razorbacks from the Ole Miss 11. Reminder, this is the bottom of the first overtime. Ole Miss scored to get it started, so Arkansas still needs a touchdown to keep it going. But this is 1st and 10. It's outside the 10, so the first down line is now at the 1.
Your entire playbook is open. We've seen them be very effective down here in the red zone, targeting the tight ends, breaking the pocket, in the bootleg naked waggle game where they get Brandon Allen outside on the run. With a condensed field, Ole Miss can afford to be a little bit more aggressive. This might be a good time for the Land Sharks to deal up some edge pressure.
You see Bielema is still talking to Tom Ritter.
Both 83 and 80 were injured on the play, therefore they must remain out of the game for one down.
So that means Sprinkle and Morgan unavailable, at least for this first down play.
87's available. Look for Dominique Reed. This is a time where you'd love to be able to exert your will at the line of scrimmage, but Arkansas just hasn't been able to do that tonight.
Collins and Walker in the backfield behind Allen. Bottom of the first overtime. Allen's going to give it to Walker on the left side. He popped gets it inside the 10 by Channing Ward.
Walker's the type of runner that's north and south. He can't move laterally very well. That's something that an Alex Collins can do. That was just a fullback dive. He picks up a couple.
With 2nd and 7. Walker checks out. Collins in. Sprinkle back in there as well. As is Morgan, now in motion.
Man coverage down below. That side of the field's wide open.
On 2nd down, Allen to the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas. And the improbable touchdown in the bottom of the first overtime. A PAT away from tying it again. It was 4th and 25 from the 40. They convert on a wild play, and now the touchdown.
Drew Morgan going in motion. Told him a couple things, that it was man coverage, but it also bought him some space to run a route right back to the area that he vacated. Brandon Allen put the ball on the money.
Arkansas is going for 2 in the win.
4 overtimes. They're going for it. They want to end this sucker.
Allen has thrown 6 touchdowns in this game. 2-point conversion for the win for Arkansas. Play action. Allen pumps. Allen is dropped. Flag down. Haynes finishes it off. We check the flag to see if it's an Ole Miss win.
This could be a face mask, Carter.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. After reaching to the goal. Read the try.
Wow, Arkansas is living right. We saw the lateral from Henry earlier. Then Ole Miss D's it up perfectly, but Marquise Haynes right there with his left hand keeps this drive alive. You're now halfway more close to the end zone than you were on the play before.
So no question for Brett Bielema and Arkansas. They're going for 2 again.
Ole Miss was in perfect position on that last play. This would be the situation you think Arkansas would rely on its offensive line.
It comes down to this. No waiting around for that 3rd overtime where you have to go for 2. The second 2-point try for Arkansas. Collins next to Allen. Morgan, fake it. Allen takes it, dives, and he is in. The 2-point conversion. Arkansas wins it in overtime. And all Brett Bielema can do is smile, escaping Oxford with a shootout overtime win, 53-52 over Ole Miss. And now the attention turns to Brandon Allen down at the goal line. The player who has fought through injury after injury to be on the field for his Arkansas Razorbacks, laying it out on the 2-point conversion to win the game.
Just a beautifully designed quarterback run. He gets hit and lets go of the football as he crosses the plane. Look at the determination. reaching as the ball hits the ground. It comes off. You wonder if his teammates jumping on him is where the injury occurred.
Allen's on his feet. The Razorbacks can celebrate. An all-timer. Arkansas over Ole Miss in overtime, 53-52. And the Ole Miss dreams of making a big statement towards an SEC West crown take a big blow in overtime. Ginny Dell is with Brandon Allen.
Brandon, first and foremost, a little slow getting up there. Want to make sure you're okay.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Took a little bit of a hit, but it's all good. I'm good now.
What gave you the confidence to go for that last drive?
You know, our offense really been clicking all game. Got to give them a lot of credit. Their offense is doing really well this whole game. And, we knew each other. If we scored here, we're going to try and end it, and we did so.
It was a back-and-forth battle each time. What do you think gave your team the competitive edge?
You know, this team, we have a lot of fight in us. We really do. Sounds cliche, but, these guys, we go into every game and we're looking to win. No matter the opponent, no matter who's on the other sideline, we have the belief that we can beat any team.
This is the first time that Arkansas has a winning record in the SEC since 2011. What does a win like this mean to the program?
It's big. It's really big. We have this. We broke up our season in 2 6-game seasons. The second half of our season, 2-0 to start it, 3-0 now. So we're taking each game one at a time, and we're going to try to win the rest of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
An overtime win, so hugs all around for the Razorbacks, including Bielema with his AD Jeff Long, chairman of the College Football Playoff Committee, because this one was hard fought all the way, 53-52. So we update our SEC West standings. The second loss by Ole Miss drops them back of Alabama, whom they had the win over. So now it's number 2 LSU, 4th-ranked Alabama, atop the SEC West. And now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. A couple of them, why not? Because this wild play, somehow Arkansas keeps it alive as Ole Miss begins to celebrate what they thought was a win. Collins loses it late, but it's still a first down, giving them another chance. So then Brandon Allen completes to Drew Morgan. And you heard him tell Jimmy, we knew we were going to go for 2 if we had the chance on the second try for 2. Allen into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good, 53-52. So for Aaron Taylor and Ginny Dell, I'm Carter Blackburn saying so long from Oxford, Mississippi, where the final score in overtime, Arkansas 53, Ole Miss 52. Well, we can only hope that Alabama LSU is as good as this one. It is coming up on CBS, 2 versus 4. The Ram postgame show is up next. 53-52, Arkansas over Ole Miss in overtime in Oxford. Ram postgame show after these messages and a word from your local station.